Alright. Greetings, housemates, and welcome to Learn to Play Ironclad. Slay the Spire, whatever. I haven't had all of my coffee yet. I just thought since I played this game so much, I would stream it. So, let's begin. So, Slay the Spire. As you can see, it's in early access. You know what that means, most likely. If not, pause the video and read the disclaimer. They say that you're likely to encounter bugs and unbalanced stuff. Mostly, I have not seen that to be the case, or at least doesn't feel that way to me. But I'm a little hardcore when it comes to how I like my roguelikes. This is a roguelite. Since I just learned the difference, I'll let you know that the basically roguelikes have three things that separate them from roguelites, or vice versa. Roguelikes are when you start over, you start from scratch. In roguelites, you gain progression, which makes the game easier. In this one, I'm going to give it a nod towards roguelite, as if you get up to the first boss, you can choose like a starting bonus next time you play. And you unlock new cards, which can make for new and more powerful combos. So the cards really, since that's all randomized and the basic cards are enough to get you through, they're not like a huge bonus, but definitely they do help. The other thing is that roguelikes are... well, anyway, I forget. It's been so long since I did a live stream, I forgot that I can't, like... I forgot I can't ad-lib and then start over. So, let's continue. What I want to look at right now, if you're not familiar with Slay the Spire, this is a deck builder built with, like, Binding of Isaac-style mutators. That is, you pick up items and they change how this run will play for the rest of the run, slightly. The darkest dungeon atmosphere of kind of dark, depressing, weird alien shit, and wrap that all up with the difficulty and challenge of roguelikes kind of randomness, and I absolutely love it. So the Ironclad is kind of the brawler of the two characters currently available. The other one is the Silent. We'll look at him in some later, maybe today. So, this thing is Niao in EOW. It's obviously a killer whale. Obviously. And if you get to the first boss, or sometimes otherwise, he will like give you a choice on what to do when you start your game. These can vary, but often you'll see some mix of kind of the same things, like get a relic. Sometimes there's a drawback. The two red ones have drawbacks. Or the red text indicates a drawback, and the green is just pure bonus. All of these are really quite powerful in their own way. Some of them are pretty darn good. For example, so this is the Ironclad starting deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember that every row is 5. So we've got 5 strike, 4 defend, 1 bash. Transform a card permanently turns one of your cards into a random other card of any rarity. And I'll point out, strikes and defends are not in that list of randomized cards. And they're worse than any other card. Now, it can suck to have like all of your strikes turned into kind of defensive skills. That's definitely a possibility. You could, if something says transform all strikes and defends, you could wind up with no defense, no offense. Though that's pretty rare when you think about how many cards you'll be shifting. And a lot of, I mean, the Ironclad's card, I think most cards are actually fairly offensive. But transforming one of these cards not only gets rid of, these are basically the worst cards in the game, strikes and defends. Transforming one turns it into a better card. So you simultaneously lose the crappy card that you had and get something that is ostensibly better. The earlier... Yeah. The earlier you transform a card, the more likely you are to be able to integrate it into whatever kind of build you go for as you play. So transforming early, like transform 2 cards, is super powerful. But transform is basically better than removing a card, because you can turn a crappy card into a better one. Whereas remove might be better for, yeah, there's just so many possibilities. Anyway, transform is great. Enemies your next 3 combats have 1 health. This can be super good, especially depending on the map you have. So if we take a look at this map, if you're not familiar with this game, there's a lot to absorb. Basically, this is the boss. We're going to wind up at him. All paths lead to the boss. There are 3 chapters, that is 3 maps, that you'll be going through for a total of 51 encounters. No matter which way you go, you always get the same amount of encounters, but some encounters are more beneficial to you than others. First off, I always look for elites. Whenever you beat an elite, you get a relic. That is one of these generally, almost universally positive effects that are permanent for the rest of your playthrough. So if you want maximum number of abilities and powers, which you do, then you want to hit as many elites as possible. And you can get up to 4 elites in a single chapter, though that's incredibly rare. 3 is not uncommon. 2 isn't bad. Plus, if you're going for score, elites count for 10 points on the first map, 20 on the second map, and I think 30 on the third map. Whereas regular encounters, I think, are worth like 5. Or regular enemies killed are worth like 2 each or something crazy. So even a chapter 1 elite is worth 5 normal enemies, if I recall. The other thing I look for are fires. So at campfires, you have 2 choices, unless you pick up some relics that add choices. Your choice is to heal or upgrade. And on the first map especially, you need to get your deck in order, and you want to upgrade as much as possible. As a matter of fact, when I first started playing the game, I thought, oh, I'll take all the cards I get, or at least all the useful ones. But then your deck gets huge and it sucks. The other thing is, the rewards you get from fighting, let's talk about normal enemies now. Normal enemies, you fight 1 to 4 enemies. Generally, the more enemies there are, the weaker they are, but that is not necessarily the case. Sometimes you'll fight 2 standard strength enemies and it'll be way harder than fighting just 1 of them. But your reward for fighting each of these standard encounters is a little bit of gold and a choice of a card. The card choice in Chapter 1 suck. They're all basic cards. There's no chance of getting an upgraded version of a card like there is in Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. So because upgraded cards are just better cards, let's take a look. Yeah, 50% more damage. An upgrade goes up to 6. So let's see what a defend. Yeah, 5 block, 8 block. And then bash. 8 damage to 10. 2 vulnerability to 3. Now, the 3 means it lasts for 3 turns, including the turn you use it on. So this turn, the next turn, and the next one if it's upgraded. Bash can seem kind of lackluster, but upgraded, it is very powerful. However, it is expensive, so if you can get extra energy from somewhere, super important. Let's see. So upgrading is super important. Transforms card will not be upgraded. Enemies your next 3 combats have 1 health. This one can be really good, especially if you can skip some combats and get to your first elite without fighting 3 people, which we can't do here. It'd be 1, 2, 3. And then question marks can be anything. They can be treasure, merchant, enemies. They can't be elites. And they can be basically, I don't know what to call them, like story encounters where you just choose your own adventure. And those generally are really positive for you. Though having about 100 gold when you head off into unknown territory is a great idea in case it's a merchant. Or you can trade that gold for something. Alright, so what are we looking for? So in the first map, since the card rewards from the standard encounters suck, I try and avoid standard encounters and improve my deck as much as possible. question marks are a great place to improve your deck. Fires are a great place. So I try to hit as many fires and question marks as I can. I want to hit one merchant. If you are less certain of your game, hit it early, and then more certain, hit it later, because it can be worth a lot of... if you hit it later, you can buy magnificent cards, like single super powerful neutral cards available to both the Silent and the Ironclad. Alright, well, anyway, let's get on the road. I want as many elites as possible. It looks like 2. These 2 are mutually exclusive, these 2 are mutually exclusive, and there are no other ones. So, as many question marks and fires as possible. 1, 2, 3. This looks, well, there's one question mark, 2 question marks, 2 question marks. Yeah, alright, we'll go this way. Let's try and catch this question. Yeah, we're gonna go up here to the first boss. Okay, so I don't want 1 hit point. Lose all gold, max hit points plus 16. That can be pretty good. 100 gold is not much to trade for that. Lose your starting relic, attain a random boss relic. Looking at the boss relics, they're all straight up better than your standard relic in terms, like, on paper. But your whole set of cards for the Ironclad are built around, or have this in mind when they were designed. So there's a lot of Ironclad ones that use health, and if you get a random boss relic that does not give you health, then you could be totally screwed. I'm going to go with the simple Transformer card. We'll show you how this works. So, since I have 5 strikes and 4 defends, I think I want to Transformer Strike. If I get a defensive card, that'd be fine. Wow, okay. So we got a rare. Let's take a look at it. Demon Form. At the start of each turn, gain 2 strength. So this is a power, which means you only have to cast it once, and then you get this ability for the rest of the match. And then it's worth 3 points when upgraded. So that's a great one. Strength, as it says here in the tooltip, adds additional damage to attacks, which means that this will go from 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 as we go on with Demon Form on. Demon Form, however, is really expensive. Alright, so what do I look for here first? First, if you have any potions, remember what they are. They can save you a ton of trouble, and it can be really hard to remember to use your potions. Alright, now what am I looking at? Oh, I'm being attacked for 11 damage. It says this guy also intends to inflict a negative status on me. And I think, oh, can I kill any outright? I'm like, yes. I can do 6 plus 6 is 12. That's enough to kill this acid slime. I can't do anything to this guy, and there's no ability suggesting that I can interact with him in some way that's unusual. I can play Demon Form now, and I can block 5 damage. However, Demon Form costs 3, and I only have 3 energies, so if I do this, I have to take the 11. Also, I remember at the end of every combat, I heal 6, so I can eat 6 without problem. So let's see. 11 total damage, block 5, leaves 6. So if I take 6, oh wait, here we go. A nice little combo. So now we're taking only 3. The best way to protect yourself is to deal damage and protect yourself at the same time. The best defense is one that is combined with your offense. Okay, now he's going to inflict a negative effect on us, but no damage is incoming. Plus, I'm going to heal, so I'm still effectively going to be at full health afterwards. I can go all out on attack because he's not coming after me. So we're going to put vulnerable on him. Bash applies this every time. Take 50% more damage from attacks for 2 turns. That means we really want to unload. Now that was kind of expensive, so we can only afford that, but there, we got to spend all our energy on offense. And we set him up to take enough damage to die next turn. Alright, he licks us. and we gain less block, but that's fine because we're going to go all berserky. Note that it says 6 damage, and when I hover over this particular enemy, it shows me how much damage it's actually going to do. 9 damage. So, because he's vulnerable, 50% extra damage. We heal, we get our gold, and we get a choice of cards. Okay, how you choose your cards is what is going to make or break your game. You're drafting your deck the whole game through. And skipping a card is really powerful. If you think about it like this. At the merchant, it costs you a minimum of 75 gold, which is a significant amount, considering I made like 15 from this whole fight. It costs 75 gold at least, and it gets more expensive the more you do it, to remove a card. So you're going to want to... If you skip a card, that's like gaining 75 gold. You want to pick cards, especially on the first chapter, that are effective even when not upgraded. There's 2 cards that can... There's one neutral card that will upgrade all the cards in your deck, but it costs like 200 and... it costs... Yeah, 200 plus gold. There's one card for the Ironclad that will upgrade either one card in your hand, or when you upgrade it, all cards, and give you 5 block. Armaments. That's a great card. Having 2 upgraded armaments in your deck can eventually upgrade all the cards in your deck. If you have 2 armaments that are fully upgraded, that's at least as good as having Apotheosis, which is the neutral card that upgrades your whole deck at once. But Apotheosis is, I would say, generically kind of better. But either one would do. So looking here, right now, what does our deck have problems with? One, we need more energy if we ever want to cast these things. And this doesn't even get cheaper when you upgrade. Some of them do. This one just gets better. So this one's tempting. It does eat our health up, but that's fine. And a lot of Ironclad cards actually tie into that mechanic. Okay, what about this one? Exhaust all non-attack cards in your hand and gain 5 block for each. So an exhausted card won't come back this combat. And what non-attack cards do I have? Basically all my defense and my demon form. I could permanently, or I could remove them from my deck for 1 combat to get 5 block once. This can be powerful if you have other things that tie into the exhaust mechanic, but right now I do not. And then Iron Wave, gain 5 block, deal 5 damage. Remember what I said, that the best defense is one that ties into your offense? Iron Wave is a great card. However, the extra energy is something you're going to need for any build. And when I look at this, if I get 1 extra energy in a hand, maybe I can play a block. And I'll lose 3 health, but I'll prevent 5 damage, a net gain of 2. This is just so useful because very, very flexible. Plus, when you upgrade it, let's take a look. If you're like, how am I supposed to know what all these upgrades do beforehand? There's actually a card library that you can look through from the main menu, and you should definitely take time to review everything. Plus, some of these cards you don't unlock until you've played through the game with the character for a while, and you'll just have to wait on those and play the game. So here you see, for the same health cost, we get 2 energy, so double the reward if we upgrade it. That's going to make it a high priority for upgrading. Okay, now, if I use it when... Let's see, so we've got 6 health to spare right now. So let's go ahead and pop this, because that'll let us use all 4 of our points for offense. And this enemy is about to buff itself. Enemies that are about to buff themselves and aren't attacking you, it's a great time to go all out against them, because generally their buff is going to be a permanent upgrade that will make them more deadly for the rest of the match. Alright, he's still vulnerable. We've got 2 attack cards, and we're going to be able to spend 1 on defense no matter what our attack plan is. So let's just go on him. What are we going to take? 1 damage? That's fine. We're still going to heal that up. Now when you start playing, you're going to be like, I didn't have any defense, or I didn't have any offense in this moment, and I just totally died. Alright, so he can do this damage, but we can finish him off. It doesn't really matter how you go about it, as long as you kill him. At least it doesn't matter right now. Oh, and sometimes you can get other stuff, like a potion. Potions are one-off abilities. You can discard them at any time. Like if there's another potion you want, you can just throw this away right now and grab it. You can carry 3, and they are universally beneficial. Notably, the Regen Potion is one of the few ways to gain significant amounts of life without a relic or a card. Yeah, there are very few ways to gain life, so super good. Okay, so what are we looking for right now? We want cards that we're not going to have to upgrade in the future. Since on chapters 2 and 3 we can get straight up upgraded cards, and upgrading a card is fantastic. An upgraded card is just significantly better. What else? It'd be great if it was cheap. Intimidate can protect us. It'll apply 1 week to all enemies, and then it'll remove itself from our deck. The defensive cards that exhaust themselves are actually a large boon, as you can fend off the enemy your first time through your deck. And then once you've got all your combos set up and all your powers learned, they'll be gone from your deck and they won't hinder you when you can start dishing out the damage. But being able to defend yourself can be super hard the first couple turns. So filling your deck with exhaustible defensive powers is great. Let me check the chat in case. Oh, no, that's fine. On the other hand, Blood for Blood, super expensive. Cost 1 less for each time you lose health in combat. Interesting. Bloodletting is going to lose health on our own, and we tend to get beat up a little bit, plus we can heal. This one is really nice. You may not be able to play it the first time through, but 16 damage for free sometimes is fantastic. And it already combos with one of our cards, so let's go for this. Intimidate, weak, 25% less damage from attacks. It's not the best, I think. Disarm is really good. Strength minus is great. So then this could have been anything, but here we have a choose your own adventure encounter. As you walk into the room, you hear a gurgling and the grinding of metals. Before you is a slime-like creature that ate too much scrap for its own good. From the center of the creature, you see glints of strange light, perhaps something magical. It looks like you can get some treasure if you just reach inside its opening. However, the acid and sharp objects may hurt. Reach inside, lose 3 health, 25% chance to find a relic. This one, I have tons of health, and it's not doing me, and I regenerate, so I'm into it. Oh, ouch. All you find is corroded metal and a bit of burning pain. However, you're still convinced there's a relic. 4 hit points, 35%? Yes. Success! Alright, we lucked out. I only worry about my health once I get below half most of the time. That's my general rule of thumb. Success! After rummaging through the metal and burning acid, you finally grab hold of a relic and yank it out. You pull your way out of the ooze, damaged, but rewarded. What do we get? Singing Bowl. This is an unlockable relic by the Iron. I can't remember who. Whenever you skip a card reward, increase your max hit points by 2. Also, whenever your max hit points go up, you gain that much health as well. So max hit point gain is also a bit of healing, an equivalent amount of healing. Alright, so what is up here? Slaver. He's going to attack and inflict a negative status on us. I can block most of the damage. Remember, if we take a little bit of damage, optimally I would take no damage and I would heal 6, and I would be up to 79 at the end of this combat. That's obviously not going to happen because I can defend. You should always, unless it's part of some blitz strategy where it's like I can kill him in 2 turns if I just take a hit now, you always want to protect your health. Your health is one of the few things that carries through from combat to combat. All the other stuff pretty much doesn't, so that was all the defense we could do. You can see I can't pay for demon form. I'm going to bash him so that next turn's offense is more effective. And since we drew such an offensive hand, probably I'll draw a bunch of defensive cards this time. Alright, so you've taken 1 damage. You see this has gone from 4 to cost 3. You also note damage dealt is in red. That's because we are weakened. This turn will deal 25% less damage. Well, we drew a nice defensive hand, and he's going to do a lot of damage, so let's just protect ourselves. Sorry, vulnerable. Now, I could gain an energy and lose some health, but I don't want to lose any health. And that would make this cheaper, so I could have done some fancy like bloodletting than blood for blood. But I still wouldn't have been able to kill him this turn, so let's just protect our health. The answer, often you want to adopt a blitz strategy, but your default should be to protect your health every time. Okay, we'll take a little damage from this. If you take only 1, 2, and 3 damage hits, you're fine. You can take, like, think of it like this. You can take 80 1 damage hits. It's the big ones that you have no defense for that are going to kill you. Alright. Blood for Blood's looking good. Sadly, we're weakened, but I can cast it. So let's protect ourselves from most of the damage. That's the basic tactic. And now, well, yeah, 12. Since my basic attacks do 4, well, they'll do 6. Although he's going to weaken us again, I suppose. Anyway, if he were at 12 health, we could kill him in 1 turn. You kind of want to know when you're going to be able to kill them in a single turn. So let's see, this would take him down to 8, and then we'd only deal 6, even though he'd be vulnerable. So we can defend this turn, or I could just hit him with my potion. However, since we have 2 defenses, let's go for it, chip him down, take another 2 damage hit. Okay, so in total, we've taken 8 damage. We were at 73. Now, we can finish him off with 2 hits. We heal back up to 71, so overall, we lost 2 health. Really not so bad. Here, so once you pick a mechanic, like, gets cheaper, like losing health, and things that benefit from you losing health, stick to it. Losing health is one of the most dangerous ones, but I trust you. I think you got this. Okay, so now we have our choice of 2 fiends, and I believe I want to go down this path. This fiend won't let me, this elite, so we're gonna go this way, plus another question mark. An elaborate shrine to an ancient spirit. Okay, we can pray to get 100 gold. I've got 150, about 250, 300 gold, and you're guaranteed to be able to buy any cards you want, but there are some relics that cost like 350. When we get to a merchant, we'll go over what merchants have. Desecrate is going to curse us with regret. At the end of your turn, lose 1 hit point for each card in your hand. You can give us 150 extra gold. The way I think about it is this. There are some relics that actually work with curses. Curses, so think about it like this. I'll have a card in my deck that is even worse than a strike or a defend. It literally does nothing, and I can't play it. And then, at the end of my turn, I lose health for all the cards I didn't play. That's a pretty big nastiness. There's an extra worthless card in my deck. I'm going to draw it instead of anything decent, and it's going to hurt me. But with Blood for Bloods in my deck, taking a little damage every now and then, like if I can manage to take 1 or 2 damage, 2 of these really powerful attack cards will get cheaper, and it really ties into my mechanic. Plus, the first card you remove in your whole run is only going to cost you 75 gold, and I'm getting 150 extra. So, even if I just immediately nuke this card from my deck when I find a merchant, I'll have made 75 cash just for taking it around, carrying it around for a little while. Plus, I regenerate, I can increase my max health, and I have lots of health right now. I'm taking it. See, generally, the bigger the bonus, the better. Now, fighting elites can be super hard, especially if you don't have a high damage attack. You need to, early on, acquire something that does, like, 12 plus damage. Or you're just not, the elites, you're on a timer against the elites. And if you can't deal enough damage fast enough, they will annihilate you. Now, demon form and stuff like this that ramps up over time can be really powerful and effective, but you can definitely get your butt kicked. Also, having a potion of block and a potion that can deal some damage like fire or explosive is super good against elites. It can be worth 50 gold to just acquire an explosive potion as well that does 10 damage to all enemies if you only have single target attacks. Okay, so what's our strategy here? He's gonna buff himself. This boss spends one turn. Okay, every enemy has a few attacks that come out in slightly randomized order. Bosses are not randomized, so once you learn a boss's attack pattern, you'll know it. He'll buff himself with a buff that for every skill I play, which is basically your defensive or logistical cards, he gains 2 strength. That means all of his attacks for the rest of the match become 2 stronger. That's bad. This is basically a race to kill him, and you can expect to lose plenty of health. Since he's buffing himself, we're going to buff ourselves. Our buff is better and offensively oriented, so we really need to take him out fast. This is basically going to be like, I bash you, you bash me. So first off, you can see that we have 2 strength now from our demon form, and our attacks do 8 damage. Every point of strength is a big deal, because it's multiplied by the number of cards you play, and having access to a lot of strength is great. The artifact that gives you 1 strength is great, especially as the Silent, who has far less access to strength. Now let's look at this. I've got 3 energy and a total of 3 cost in my hand. So we're gonna be able to play all our cards. When you look at his buff, whenever you play a skill, gains 2 strength, it can be hard to figure out what the best tactic is. The way I think about it is, he's just going to get stronger over time, block all the health damage you can, but if he's gonna throw out a really weak attack, it might be worth investing more in your offense. Like if I had 3 strikes and a defense, I would just go all strikes, because you need to kill him as soon as possible. Now, we've got some strange choices to make. So first off, we're definitely playing these attacks. And often you want to look at your hand and say, is there anything I can use to make these attacks better? In our case, no. Now, I want to take as little damage as possible, even if this will make all of his attacks stronger. He can only attack once per turn, so now he's going to do 2 extra damage this turn and every other turn he's alive. But I'm blocking 5 damage now. Basically, kill him fast, and that strength won't mount up to the point that he murders you. But if you wait too long, he's going to hit you with like a 40 damage attack anyway. And then what do we have here? Playing Bloodletting is going to cost me 3 health, and I can't use the energy. Regret's going to do 1 damage to me, but we know we've got Blood for Bloods coming, and they get cheaper for each time I lose health. So if I play this, I lose health, and then I lose another one. So for 4 health, instead of just 2, where I keep this in hand and this does 2 damage to me, 1 for each card, for 4 health, I can shave 2 cost off of this, and I'm definitely going to do that. And then we have our explosive potion. No need to use it just yet. It won't do... It's not affected by vulnerable or any stats. It always just does a flat 20. See how much cheaper this was now? Because he hit me, which caused damage. This went from 4 to 3. And it could have cost me 2, but now it's nice and cheap. And we can play it with our bash. Now he's going to wall up the crap out of me because he made me vulnerable. But we're just going to focus on offense. Because this does 30 damage now. He's at 26. I'd love to be able to kill him with my fire potion, but it's just not going to happen. We're just going to have to eat this. Now my Blood for Bloods are going to be free. And he's basically dead. Someone wants to watch my broadcast? Come on in. All right, so what do we get? So here's our relic for fighting an elite enemy. There's no reason to leave a relic behind. Matter of fact, you can easily skip your rewards while you're playing and learning the game. Don't, unless it's just a card choice that you're like, this is lame and I want nothing to do with it. We have good choices here, but all right. At the start of each combat, gain 1 dexterity. Fine. Also, whenever you skip a card reward, increase your max health by 2. Rare cards have a golden frame and banner. Okay. Let me share my YouTube link. Oh, hey! Got some people watching. Let me share my... looks like... Yeah. Health loss run. Yeah, okay. Evan Butt says, Ironclad is boss, and my best Ironclad run was a health loss one. Yeah, definitely. I've seen some pretty serious stuff. Okay, so now we get to choose our card, knowing that at the start of each combat we'll have 1 dex. Well, none of this gives us dex. If we skip the card, we get 2 health, but I'm only at half. I think that's fine. And some of these are really good. Impervious is rare, Inflame is uncommon, Perfected Strike is common. Right now, we've ditched one of our strikes, which kind of makes Perfected Strike a little less good, but Perfected Strike is still good because it'll deal, what, 14 damage for 2, and if you upgrade it, it's +3 for all cards containing strikes, which are basically just strikes of Perfected Strikes. Inflame will increase all of our attacks by 2 strength. Similar to Demon Form, it's along that vein. Upgraded, it's 3 strength, and we only have to pay for it once. And then Impervious will give us 30 block, and then it'll be gone from our hand. It's kind of expensive. Impervious is a great card, and we could use a little more defense. But yeah, it does suffer from being kind of expensive. However, I'm gonna take it. If you think about it like this, so rarity doesn't necessarily mean that for your deck or in your circumstance, the rarest card is always the best. But rarest cards tend to pack the most power into a single card. And the fewer cards you have, the more often you're going to see the same cards. So having a few really powerful cards means you'll always be playing powerful cards. Or having a lot of weak cards means that you will rarely be playing the same card and your hand will be full of trash. So, the 2 strength though, especially with Demon Form in our deck, not a bad choice, but I'm going to go with Impervious to round out my collection. Since 30 block can be really powerful. Ironclad has a card that lets them retain their block from round to round, which is super powerful. Also, it exhausts itself, and there's plenty of exhaust mechanics. Plus, since we have health loss, we need some defense. And we now have 5 out of 15 cards are defensive, so we kind of need to up our defense game. Okay, I don't have to make much choice yet. Okay, so here we're fighting 2 enemies. This one, a Jawworm, is like a whole encounter on its own. And then this one, a Louse, yeah. So this is a terrible starting hand. These are too expensive to play right now. Since we can't play stuff, we're gonna lose extra health. I can get energy and make these cheaper, but they're still super expensive. It's time to look at alternatives. Plus, they're both attacking. I have no defense. We might use both our potions this time. Let's think. So what's coming? What could be here? Now, this is out of order, sorted by rarity, unless you get a specific relic. Well, we've got 1 dexterity. We heal. It's a great time to have Impervious in our hand to just buy a turn. Because next turn, these guys might not be attacking. They might buff themselves. As a matter of fact, the Jawworm is very predictable and will be buffing itself next turn. So, if I draw cards, Regret is going to eat me. I could also just blow up this guy with a fire potion. Let's draw cards instead. Okay, so we got Impervious. These guys are doing 18 damage. Impervious is just going to save our butts. It's not going to save us from regret, but... what else? Well, we've talked about Bloodletting. If I keep it in my hand, I lose 1 health. If I play it, I lose 2 more health than that. So my choices are, do I want to play an extra card? And the answer is yes, because the more cards I play, the less damage regret does to me. So think about it like this. I play this. All right, right now I have 41 health. Let's play... Oh, we don't need defense. We're good on defense. So now we want to spend everything on offense. I'm not going to be able to play a blood for blood. So we'll play a strike. Oh, let's look at this guy's ability. Curl up. On taking attack damage, rolls up and gains 4 block. It only does this once. So if you just pop it, it'll block. That block goes away at the end of the turn, and then it's easy to kill next turn. It's just hard to kill in 1 turn if you use 2 attacks. Okay, 41 health. I can play this card and 1 more card. Play this card in this strike. And I will take 2 less regret damage at the cost of 3. That's pretty good. Because we're at 38. If I attack this guy, 4 of my damage is lost. And he's at 6 health, which means 1 strike will kill him. So we'll just let it go. So now I'm going to take 4 damage from here. If I hadn't done that, I would have taken 6 damage. And had 3 more. Yeah, anyway, trust me, it was worth it. And now, blood for blood is 2 cheaper rather than 1. So all in all, we lost 7 health last turn, which sucks, but... let's whack him. And then this guy's not doing anything offensive, so defense is going to be worthless. Let's deal some damage and send him up for next turn. Hey, friendly. Can I turn up the volume? I'm on max and still whispering. Sound is fine. All right. Yeah, friendly. Sounds like you're gonna have to up your sound game. Okay, regret and bloodletting are definitely bleeding us of health. Let's look at what we can do here. Now, I think I want to play it defensively. Note that we're getting 6 blocks instead of 5. That's because of our 1 defense from the oddly smooth stone. I definitely want to invest in my defense. Okay, so now we're not going to take any damage. I can strike, or yeah, it'll deal 9 because he's vulnerable. We're going to get through his block and deal a little bit of health damage. Now, I could do this again. You've seen me do it before, but at this point, blood for blood is kind of affordable, and this is going to trigger anyway. Now I want to save my health. Early on, you want to establish your ability to play effective cards. Later, you want to defend your health. Okay, so no, this is cheaper because regret hit me last time. I wish he was vulnerable so I could hit him with this wallop. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, we dealt a little bit of damage, but getting him vulnerable means this 16 damage becomes a kill. All right, and we went from 41 to 38. Not too bad. Oh my, my, my. Rupture is fantastic. Whenever you lose hit points from a card, gain 1 strength, and the upgrade is free. Definitely you want to think about cheaper cards. You need, your energy is a big problem early game unless you have to deal with it somehow. You either need relics that give you extra energy, or you need cards that get cheaper. Rage, this is a skill. Whenever you play an attack this turn, gain 4 blocks. So it looks like a power, but no, this is only effective the turn you play it. It does turn your attacks into blocks, which is pretty fantastic, but it is a little expensive. And it means like I can play... It's not bad though now that I have dexterity, because dexterity improves block gain from cards. So whenever I play an attack this turn, I would gain not 4, but 5 because of dexterity. And then here we have disarm. Enemy loses 2 strength, exhaust. So You can only play this once per combat. When you do, an enemy does 2 less damage with every one of its attacks for the rest of the combat. This is way better than I thought initially. It's one of those exhaust, a defensive exhaust card. Rupture's pretty good if I can upgrade it. And it looks like I can before I get this final box. I have 2 upgrades I'm guaranteed to get. This fireplace and this one. Oh wait, but if I go this way, 1, 2, 3 upgrades and a question mark. Actually, I'm going to go this path. I want these upgrades. And we can upgrade immediately. I don't know what the upgrade of Rage does, actually. If it's free, that'd be good. This one's tempting because we already have spec'd into lose health. But at the moment, I'm lacking in defense. I would really like... let's see how good this is. I think that's pretty good. You really got get your defense in order. Plus, maybe if I upgrade it, it's free? No. 6 blocks per attack played. I don't know. I'm feeling moderate about it. Okay, so we can rest. We'll heal 24 health. That is 30% of our max health. So higher max health means more effective rest. Rest is kind of your fallback option. You want to smith. You want to improve your deck. But if you just have too little health to go on, you have to do that. So looking at our cards, what do you think the most effective 2 upgrades are going to be? Give yourself a second. It's not strikes. It's not defends. They're like the worst thing to upgrade because they're the worst card already. Getting like 50% more powerful is the least. You may be thinking the rares. It's not a bad thought. They're definitely strong. But each of these you can only play once. Now the demon form, every turn gets better. It like makes all your attacks better and better. Sure. But it does that anyway. And it's pretty strong as is. Impervious is the same way. It's a nice to have upgrade, but not necessary. Putting out a lot of damage early is great, but unreliable. Rage isn't a bad choice because this one kind of works in short bursts, so you want to get the most out of it, the most for your money, because it requires you to do a lot of stuff on one turn. Your 2 choices are really, the best choices are Bloodletting or Bash. Bash, because you get an extra turn of vulnerable, which means it's not just this turn and the next turn, which can be hard to set up, but this turn and the next turn and the next one, that you do 50% bonus damage to an enemy, which is a lot. And then Bloodletting, where for our precious hit points, we get significantly more. That can let us do a lot more. That can let us play Rage, or play Demon Form and defend ourselves a little bit, or play another Blood for Blood or Bash. Since this can really enable us to do almost anything else in our deck better, and because paying 3 hit points, we want to get the most for that, it's our first choice of upgrade. Alright, treasure chests are always safe and nice. You get cash, you get kunai, some other things help you get stuff, or you get a relic of some sort. Every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 dexterity. So if we can, and 3 attacks is rule of thumb, no defense. Unless you have bonus energy coming from somewhere, like we do, 3 attacks can be kind of tough to deal, especially because you only get 5 cards. Okay, now we're upgrading. Now what do we want? Well, and note that cards you've previously upgraded won't show up here, so if you want to know what's in your deck overall, go here. Like, I can't upgrade the Regret. I can't upgrade Bloodletting, so they don't show up. Okay, now what do we want? Well, we have access to a little more energy every now and then, which might make Rage better because it'll mean we can play more attacks and stuff. Bash is still fantastic. And Bash, it can be too expensive to justify it until you upgrade it. Like, it's nice, sometimes it's all you got, but man, upgraded it's so much better. So we're going to do that. Rage might have been a more defensive choice, but I think we're good. If I had less health, I would have gone for Rage. Okay, now I wish I had that explosive potion that did 10 damage to all these guys, because look at this. Look at this horrible incoming. And, oh, yeah, we were dealt, like, a BS hand. Still, Rage is going to pay off a bit here. Whenever you play an attack this turn, gain 4 block. Okay, increased by 1 by our dex. If I play 3 strikes, I could get an extra dex, but I won't be alive. A potion could save us, what? I can blow one of these guys up for 9 health. Trading a potion for... Well, there's a block potion that's worth... protect you from 12. I think... Yeah, I think... About 8 damage is where I start to say it's worth throwing a potion at it. Now also, I can draw 3 cards, and if I got Bloodletting, my Rage could actually protect me, or Impervious, I'd be in a much better spot. So we're just going to draw. Now there's a hand size max of 10. You'll get used to what it looks like when you have different numbers of cards. Right now I have 5, so not an issue. Okay, we didn't get any of the cards we wanted. But if I play 2 defense, I'll have 12 block, or... Here's what we're going to do. We're going to Rage. We're going to use 2 strikes to do 12 damage. The obvious target is this little guy, because that'll save us from 9 health. Then I could blow this one up, and we take no damage. Right? Crazy. Potions help you make up for the RNG-ness of your deck. Okay, we Rage. Whenever you play an attack this turn, gain 4 block. So, so it's not affected by dexterity. Well, that sucks. Okay, so we've got 8 health, and I can save myself 9 damage by using a potion. I'm into it. Explosive potions are kind of the jack-of-all-trade offensive potion, I would say, because they're great against large groups, and they're also fine against smaller ones. So what are we going to accomplish here? We want to play as many cards as possible, or Regret will eat us up. Blood for Blood's out of the question. We've got 3 energy. Otherwise, we've got 3, so we're going to play all of this. We're going to block all that damage, and then when he takes damage, he gains 1 strength. This guy does a debuff. Let's attack him instead. Let's hit him with, like... Let's kill him off in 1 turn, because the more we whack him, the stronger he gets. Plus, this guy has less health. The sooner you can winnow down the number of enemies you're fighting, the better. Okay, and they're still doing pretty lame damage. Let's go with Impervious and kick this guy down. Now, he's at 6 health. When weakness wears off, which it might, he might apply it again. That should mean I only need 1 card to kill him. Okay, we easily tank the, we're weak again. Okay, our offensive is nerfed, but our defense is fine. So let's just keep protecting ourselves completely and wearing these guys away. And if we're lucky, we'll end up with 42 health at the end instead of 41. Also, this weakness is making it really hard to kill him, so taking this guy out first is... Now, we have Regret, and it hurts us the more cards we have left. Here's an expensive card, here's 3 cards we can play. We're just going to go all out. It can be best to kill it. You want to be careful about doing your math. That's all I'm going to say. Now this guy still isn't... Once this guy gets past 6 damage, I'm going to hesitate to upgrade him from 6 to 7. Because right now, each one of our blocks is worth 6. So if I can defend with just 1 card, that's the best. Of course, right now, let's see. 16 plus 6 is 22. And he's dead. So just knowing when to switch from offense to defense is the best. Oh, 40 health. Oh, Regret got me. Alright, choose a card. Now I like to, early on, I like to acquire cards that help me play and move through my deck. Like Bloodletting helps me play more cards. These cards have built-in kind of help play, but we don't have anything that moves through our deck. Headbutt's very good for a common. I like to have 2 headbutts in most of my decks because basically if there was a card you couldn't play, like Demon Form was not appropriate on the second turn of combat or first when you got it, you could fish it back out and have it in your hand next turn. Or like your powerful defensive or your powerful offensive cards. Of course, it doesn't help with exhaust or your energy cards. So Headbutt can really let you abuse one card. Deal 9 damage, place a card from your discard on top of your draw. As long as it's gone through your hand, it's like choosing a card and putting it in your hand. Now, that's going to stop you from drawing a different card next turn, but it's great. And it also combos really well with Havoc. Seeing red is going to give us energy, and it's not going to be there next time we go through our deck. When you upgrade it, it becomes free, which is fantastic, making it much better at its job. And Battle Trance lets you draw 3 cards, but then you can't draw for the rest of the turn. But it is free, which is really good. With Regret around, drawing can be a little dangerous for me. And Demon Form, Impervious, and the Blood for Bloods can be quite expensive, so I'm going to opt for seeing red. I don't need to draw more cards, I need to be able to play the ones I have. Also, each chapter has... you'll only encounter the same enemies, and some of them are significantly more dangerous than others. Okay. The Lagavulin is a curious creature. I'm going to check chat. Rupture all the way. Fat Gremlin is... Yes. Yeah, I would have gone Rupture, but you heard my explanation. I needed more D. But now I rue. Okay, so the Lagavulin is an interesting enemy. It will sleep here for 3 turns, and then it'll wake up stunned, and then it'll start fighting you. The problem with it is once it starts attacking you, it does like 18 damage, and it's kind of non-stop attack until it hits you with a debuff, and then non-stop attack, and then it'll debuff you every now and then. And the debuff reduces your dexterity and strength, which means everything does less damage, everything protects you less. It can be really brutal and overwhelming, but if you don't do health damage to it, and that includes like if you poison it, it'll just sit here for a while, and it'll let you draw 3 hands and play, say, like all your powers and setup cards and exhaust cards, as long as you don't hurt it. So here we go. We're gonna skip that whole thing. So note, it's got metallicized while it's in its shell. That is, it gains 8 blocks. So you can actually, and as long as it doesn't take health damage, it won't wake up. So you can like, you can hit it with an unupgraded bash for 8 and make it 2 vulnerable, and then attack it the next turn. Either way, so okay, definitely want to get Demon Form out. And want to give that as much time to ramp up as possible before this thing wakes up. Since we get more powerful every turn, we're really going to draw this out. Okay, so that little question mark, exclamation point, that means that it's going to wake up next turn whether you hurt it or not. Okay. We're going to play that just to not take a horrible amount of regret damage, I guess. I'm not sure if that was exactly the best play. Maybe saving it and taking like 4 or 5 damage would have been better, but that's what I'm going for. Okay, regret. So note, Blood for Blood is going to get cheaper this turn when we play Bloodletting. We should be able to play both Blood for Bloods. Oh, but we can't play the Bash too. We have no potions, and we've got like a horrific attack incoming. Okay, well this is going to suck, but... let's bash it, hit it for 30, and then take half our, more than half our health and damage. So that was just bad news. I had no potions to help out, and I drew no defense. Now, however, we can protect ourselves from that. And we can throw out 1 strike because he's nice and vulnerable. Now see, if I hadn't upgraded Bash, then this turn I wouldn't be dealing an extra 50% damage. Plus we've got strike. Okay, and he's going... Oh, he's going to debuff us, so there's not even a point in... Okay, yeah. There's not even a point in defending. Anything that adds block isn't going to help us. But now we're going to finish him off. Of course, we went from like 36 to 16. Blood for blood is cheap. Okay, so we just had to blitz him. But knowing when to wait. So, okay, so the trick for him is you have 3 turns to draw cards. It's best to deal a little damage on that 3rd turn, or as much damage you can on that 3rd turn, because he's going to wake up anyway, whether you do the damage or not. Enough said. At the start of each combat, apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies. So at the beginning of combat, everything takes 50% more damage, or if it's got an artifact that is a stack of resist the next debuff against you, you start to eat through that, which can also be very powerful. Alright, now we've got our choices. Remember, we're trying to pick cards that we don't need upgraded. They're effective without being upgraded. And I'll say Headbutt beats out Iron Wave. I love Iron Wave, and I would love to have an upgraded Iron Wave. But Headbutt can let us abuse our Blood for Bloods or our Bloodlettings or Seeing Red much more easily. This thing could do no damage and be a great card. And when you upgrade it, all it does is deal a little more damage. Let's take a look. When you upgrade it, it does 3 extra damage. That's like 33% boost. Not a big difference. Not a big difference. That's as much as upgrading a strike. So Headbutt's pretty effective whether it's upgraded or not. And the ability to like put Seeing Red back on top of your deck or Rage is so good. You really need stability in this game. Cards that let you know what's going to happen. Okay, Regret is still tormenting us. He's doing a lot of damage, so we're definitely just going to throw out Impervious. What's left? Also, one of my favorite settings here is disable confirmation when choosing 1 card. So if I play this and it says place a card from your discard on top of your draw, and there is and there's only 1 card here, it won't even ask me. It'll just do it. Right now, I can do 6 damage or 9 from my 1 energy, and it's not like this ability. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. Also, he's vulnerable, so he took, I forget, 13. All right, we eat 3 damage. Regret is really like negating our life gain here. Okay, 8. We've only got 3 energy. We definitely want to protect ourselves. My 2 block will block. I could play Rage, but it really doesn't make a difference. Let's see. So here's how Rage works again. So I can play that. If I do it before I play Strike, I get my 4 block on, and then that'll give me 20. But I could have just as easily played Defend instead of Rage. And then order doesn't matter. Also, we're going to look for a chance to play our Regen Potion. It's definitely serendipitous that fell into our hands. Because we're at real low life playing a life-lose kind of combo. Why is the enemy named after whiskey? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe... Okay, if you were vulnerable, this might be great, as is. 16 damage for 3. What are... Okay, so he's going heavy offense. So we should just stack defense and hope that some other turn will do better. Plus, since he's going to whack us... oh, it's because we're vulnerable. Anything that can protect you from vulnerability... There's 1 relic that reduces how effective vulnerability is by half. Pretty damn good. Okay, we can do 22 damage. Not enough for a kill, sadly. And we have no defense. We have no draw. Well, fine. Definitely don't want to waste my precious life. Ouch. We're going to be at 1 health. And we're going to take him out. Okay. Whew. Add a card. Heavy Blade. It's going to be pretty effective if we ever get around to the point we can actually use Demon Form. At the moment, not so much. Sword Boomerang, 1 energy for 9 damage. And note that when it says 3 times, that means that your strength is going to be multiplied by 3. If we look at these two then, Sword Boomerang is a more effective damage dealer than Heavy Blade for now. Especially because, as you've seen, it's been hard to actually play Demon Form. Now, upgrading Sword Boomerang, I think it ups the damage, or I don't know if it upgrades the number of attacks. But this is a nice cheap one. We'll be able to slide in and defend ourselves, whereas Heavy Blade will take all of our energy and then we might not even be able to kill something with it. So I would tend towards Sword Boomerang because it'll let us play defensive cards at the same time as offensive cards. Okay, we just have to survive this attack. Actually, Sword Boomerang would be perfect here. And they're going all out attack on us, which I don't know if we'll survive, so we're going to drink this. Now, to get the most benefit of regeneration, it can give you 15 health, but only if your combat lasts for 5 turns. So we kind of have to draw this out, which won't be too difficult. First things first, defense, we got to defend ourselves as much as possible, and then pleasantly we have an attack. This one, I don't know why you're doing more damage, but let's take it down. And once again, we don't play Demon Form. Now I've got 22, and I'm going to eat 5. Okay. Oh yeah, we totally would have lived without regeneration. Okay. Great time to play Sword Boomerang. It would have been best on the first turn when they were all vulnerable, but yes, so we trigger all that. That's great. Oops, I probably should have played Rage because now I'm going to eat most of my health and damage. Oh no, we're dead. Alright guys, that was that run. Disappointing, I know. Disappointing. Inadequately prepared. If you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to throw them in chat. I think I played that about as well as I could. Let's take a look at what we can learn from the scoring here, because once you get good enough at the game, you're probably going to switch from I want to win to I want to max out my score. The leaderboards are pretty tempting, even to me, and normally I can ignore that stuff. Floors climbed, so this is every encounter is a floor, and each one of them is worth 5 points, it looks like. Because 5 times 14 is 50, plus 20 is 70. Enemy slain, each enemy is worth 2 points. How many encounters do we have with enemies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Okay. So it looks to me like it actually is counting numbers of enemies. So when you find 3 weak enemies, or 4. No wait, I fought gremlins. Okay, so I think it's counting just every enemy encounter is worth 2 points. Let me tell you, that ranks pretty low, because a single elite is worth 10 each. Enemy encounters are basically, I think, the least desirable encounter in the game. Everything is better than fighting enemies, in my opinion. Unless you're cruising for a card drop, or to skip dropped cards, or you need to go down a specific path. I would always take unknown over enemy. Although unknown isn't guaranteed to up your score. Still, you actually get points for gold if you win, but not if you lose. I don't know. They changed the scoring around. It used to be you got points for gold. I know you get points for gold if you win, and it's 10% of your gold, so I would have got 58 points for having all this gold. You're likely to get more points from hoarding gold And you're more likely to survive if you hit up these question marks, because, you know, I got like 250 cash from one of them. And then no bosses. Each boss is worth 50 points, but you can't avoid fighting them, so it's not like you have a choice there. Either way, and eventually you'll unlock stuff. Alright, let's do the Ironclad again. That one, I don't know. RNG, it happens. Alright, greetings. Now he's going to smack talk me. Let's talk to him. Reach the boss to receive my blessing. So we don't get a choice this time. That's fine, whatever. I don't need your choices. And we get a whole new, whew. It looks like there's a lot of fires we can hit. A lot of upgrades. Catch that boss. Catch this boss. A lot of, okay, so this looks good. So then, yeah, I always build around the elites. Where are the elites? 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy's optional. I can hit this elite if I hit one of these two. I always try, because I want the maximum number of relics, and then there's no more elites. So what? One of these two. What else? I usually like to have at least one merchant and as many question marks and fires as possible. Notably, if you want an easier challenge, you can hit this fire before you hit this elite, which is a big deal, but then he's the only elite you're ever going to fight. And I can get the same amount of fires if I go this way. I just get it after I hit the elite, but the upgraded card can really make a difference. If I go this way, one merchant, yeah. If I go this way, I'll get 2 merchants. Now, the more merchants you go to, they'll always have a card that's on sale. And that sale card can be really nice. So the more merchants you hit, the more sales you can take advantage of. And of course, the more access to relics and, you know, choices you get. But generally, one merchant is enough to make good choices. You don't need to hit 2. Unless you have some relics that help there. So I think we're going to go up this way through here. Yeah, I want to fight regular enemies as little as possible because the rewards are the worst. And they're not really worth points. Alright, well, we don't have much choice. We're going to defend ourselves as best we can and whack this guy. Yeah, some of the question marks can be combat for sure. So, it's... Let's see. So we're down by 6 already. But I don't want to take too much time fighting this guy, so we'll eat another 2. We won't make it back to full health this combat. Yeah, the question marks can even be combat, so it's not like... Oh, you know, I might have been able to actually kill him. Oh, no, I'm weakened. Since he keeps weakening us, this time I want to protect my health as much as possible. If he keeps using these weak attack... Well, we're weakened. Attacks aren't that strong, even if he's vulnerable. So we'll just protect our health. Once again, protect our health to the max, especially because we're weakened. Going all out offensive while weakened is... You better be killing something if you're doing it. Okay, and now we can finish him off. 18 health is where you can really just murder things. Alright, so our first choice of the game, this one seems pretty obvious to me. Evolve is fantastic. Shuffle 2 wounds into your draw pile. Whenever you draw a wound, draw 1 card. So right now when we take it, it'll cost us 1, and basically wounds will just be... Whenever I draw a wound, I'll get a new card in my hand, so I'll get a draw. So wounds will no longer slow us down. When you upgrade it, it's draw 2 cards for each wound, which is crazy good. Crazy good. We'll try and upgrade it as soon as possible. Pummel, deal 2 damage 4 times. For a cost of 1, 8 damage is not bad. Plus, it multiplies your strength by 4. So if you have plus strength, this becomes really good. And it exhausts after use, so you won't see it again, thus narrowing down your deck. That's not bad, but Evolve has the potential to combo with our whole deck, and Pummel would combo with Strength, which we don't have. Plus, it's not like a big attack, right? It doesn't do 12 plus damage. So it's not like it's going to fill in that gap for me right now. And then True Grit, gain 7 block, exhaust a random card in your hand. This can be good with an exhaust deck, but I don't have that yet. I'm not sure what I have. And 7 block isn't that much better. And the exhaust then is actually kind of a penalty. So, Evolve. And Evolve is definitely on the top of my list of upgrades right now. One of the beautiful things about Evolve is enemies that wound you can become beneficial. Okay, let's see what's going on. Now, at the moment, Evolve is kind of, it's only helpful if enemies are putting wounds into my deck. And I don't believe these guys do that, so we're just going to block their damage. And we're going to trigger these guys' curl ups so they don't have that anymore. Yeah, one of the things about powers is they're not always the best thing to play. Being able to play powers cheaply and efficiently is really what top-notch strategies revolve around, I believe. Okay, one of these things is still going to be alive because we're weakened. But we can fully block that damage and get back up to max health. Plus, until you upgrade Evolve, it's not that good, but once you do, it's fantastic. Okay. Because we made him vulnerable, even though we're weakened, we can kill him off in one hit. Alright, what now? Sword, Boomerang, True Grit, Flame Barrier. Getting a really powerful, so I would say 8 plus block or 12 plus damage. You want to get one of those in your deck as soon as possible. And while Sword Boomerang is pretty good, it is a common and kind of weak-ish card. It can be great in the right circumstances. Flame Barrier is kind of great all the time because there's going to be turns where you need that defense. And then, since it burns attackers, gives you kind of a Thorns proc, it can actually deal tons of damage to some enemies. Alright, it's a Cleric. He's offering to remove a card from our deck for 50 gold, which is great. I definitely don't need the heal, and leaving would give me no benefit for this encounter. Plus 50 is cheap. So, let's look at our deck and see what I'd want to go. Right now, I got a new defense card. I've got my offense. I want to get rid of a strike, really. Why, you say, when I just got a new defense card? It's because I would rather have more defense than offense, for one. And two, Bash, the faster Bash comes around, the better my strikes are going to be. I'd rather have access to all the defense than crappy offense. Plus, Flame Barrier is, like I said, offense and defense rolled into one. Yeah, the Juzu bracelet is one of those relics. So Evan says, to get around question mark combats. I love the Juzu bracelet, which prevents you from encountering combats while in a question mark. And that is way better than it sounds. So yeah, I won't be casting Evolve unless I just have, like, cards to spare. Or energy to spare, and since I do, I mean, why not? So we can see how it works. So note, they went into my draw pile. And when I draw this, it basically draws a new card for me. That's effectively a net nothing. I can't think of any benefit it gives me as is, but there's no penalty. Alright, so he's going to do 6. I can defend myself. I can take 1 damage and hit him for 12. Or I can take no damage and he'll take 10. Since we heal, there's no reason to actually cast Flame Barrier right now. And one of the great things about Flame Barrier is it doesn't exhaust itself. It's a powerful defensive card that'll be coming back around a lot. It's better when upgraded. It does, I think, 16 block and 6 damage. But it's fine without. Okay, now he's doing 9 damage. And I can still... I'm only down by 1. So let's make him vulnerable and eat a little bit of damage. So we'll still heal up to max, but now he's vulnerable. And now he's doing 12. Okay, let's cast Flame Barrier to prevent all that damage, and then everything else on attack. Plus, Flame Barrier is going to deal a little bit of damage to him. So note, Flame Barrier took him from 19 to 15. That means if we get 3 strikes, we can just straight up deal 18 damage. But if we hadn't done that, yeah, there you go. And we're back to max. Energy potions are great. This gives you 2 energy. Choose a card. Evolve. Okay, so let's look at what we got here. We've got some defense. We've got some debuff. And this thing will let us draw eventually. I love Havoc and Rampage. Heavy Blade can be nice, but we don't have any strength, so not right now. Rampage is much better when upgraded. When it's upgraded, it increases damage by 8 every time you use it, but that's still kind of slow, but it is nice and cheap. And plus, 1 mana for 8, or 1 energy for 8 damage is still better than a normal strike. However, Havoc is fantastic. When upgraded, this card becomes free. Play the top card of your draw pile and exhaust it. Havoc also, not only, Havoc combos well with exhaust decks, which is a major thing that Ironclads can do. Plus, it can become a free play, which is great. Alright, you know how I feel about this. Even if I removed it from my deck, I would get 100 gold. It will make me weak. But it should be fine. Havoc might not work so well with Evolve, but whatever. We're going to try this. Usually it's worth it. Plus, I hate to waste a whole encounter. Now we'll fight this one. Hopefully the weak won't screw us here. Ugh. This is my least favorite encounter because, yes, when it goes like triple attack on you, it's so brutal. Okay. Oh, I can think of one benefit to playing Evolve as is, and that is you won't draw Evolve again. But we got plenty of things to do with our energy right now. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead. We're definitely going to eat it this time. Yeah, let's hold on to our potion for now. We're just going to suffer. I like to go for the lowest health one most of the time. If I had an explosive potion, I would try and fight them down to... I'd do the math, see if I could fight one down to 10. And note that they negate the first debuff against them, which is actually pretty brutal. It means my first bash against each of them is going to suck. First off, let's play Havoc and see what we get. Alright, we got a defend. And now that defend is gone, it's not coming back. I'm kind of okay with that. Let's protect our health. We're going to weaken, but we should end up with Flame Barrier next turn, which thankfully Flame Barrier is kind of a anti-group. Unplayable Ethereal. If you can get... One of the best cards you can possibly get is Feel No Pain, as dazed enemies suddenly provide you with tons of defense. Okay, we're taking 16. We've protected 12. I could protect up to 17. If I try and rush it, if I go too slow, they're gonna put tons of dazes in my deck. Not much I can do about that. Let's just play it safe. Now, the nice thing about dazes is they exhaust themselves. If you have ethereal statuses like that in your deck, so note they're taking damage, it's best to leave them in your hand so they go away. I want to exhaust my deck. Alright, so another defend gone. But it's nice to have some defense. Okay, now's the time I want to use my potion. So I can do 8 plus 6 plus 50% of 6 is 3. So I can do 17 damage. Oh, no. That's only if it's debuffed. Alright, here we go. We're going to drink to protect ourselves from 8 damage, right? I told you 8 was kind of my, like, potion limit. Because that lets us play enough to kill one of those. When there's a lot of enemies, just try and work down to one of them. One less enemy is important. And try and pick smart if you can. Okay, so they're not attacking, so I want to use all my stuff for attacking if possible. Or, yeah, evolve will be fine. Then I won't have to draw evolve again. And then there's no point in playing anything else. Don't play extraneous cards. With a silent, you might be able to retain cards afterwards. All sorts of stuff could happen. Okay, what's in here? Okay, looks like all we can do is defend ourselves. And yeah, okay, we'll get a strike in. It's not free. It would be much better if I'd upgraded Havoc and it was free. But every time I use Havoc, my deck gets slimmer. And okay, so Flame Bear, yeah, so now we just want to attack. No point in defending. Generally, Havoc, just the odds with Havoc are that it won't be using up my best cards. Boo. Okay, let's weaken him a lot because we're going to be weak next turn and our strikes are only going to do 4 damage. Need my upgrade. Upgrade Havoc could have saved us a ton here. Okay, this guy. Okay, so you could be tempted to just kill this guy. He does 8 damage. He's got 3 health. Obviously, 1 strike would finish him off. But look at what's in our hand. We've got 1 offensive card, 1 mixed card, but this one only does damage if they hit us. So I can actually play this. It'll protect us, and when he attacks, he'll die. And then I can do 4 damage here. Whereas if I'd use the strike on him, this guy's not attacking, therefore the flame wouldn't hit him. That was the best way to deal maximum damage. Yeah, these triple guys are the worst at the beginning of a run. I mean, the red guy, the Gremlin King or whatever, Gremlin Knob, is brutal sometimes. But especially if a block potion or something, he can be much easier to deal with. Alright, once again, we're not within Alpha Strike territory on his health. And he's going to ignore that first vulnerable application, so let's just protect ourselves as best we can and whack them. If you skip bosses, you're going to have a much easier time. I just never do that. He's not attacking, so let's go on the offensive as much as possible. Sweet, we got a strike. Okay, we only need 2 strikes to get this guy. So note also, the more I use Havoc, the faster I'll cycle my deck. Sadly, we did not get the offense we needed, but we did get the defense, so that's fine, that's fine. And yeah, until I upgrade Evolve, it's just wasting space in my deck, so it's definitely high on my list. Whew. Could have been much worse. Alright, the Merchant's card removal service now always costs 50 gold. Sweet, and we've never used it before? I'm real into it. Oh, and we have choices. Flex, gain 2 strength. At the end of your turn, lose 2 strength. So for this turn, at no cost, all of your attacks will do 2 extra damage, times the number of attacks they do. Flex can be really good. If we had a pummel, Flex and pummel is incredibly powerful early game. But it doesn't really go that well into the late game. Bloodletting would be a fantastic addition to our ability to play cards. And it's definitely the one I'm gonna take. But it also suffers from being pretty lame compared to its upgrade version. And then Demon Form is really, really good if you can pay for it. And I'm not going to choose Demon Form before I choose Bloodletting. Like, I've gotten to the end of the game and been like, Demon Form wasn't that great. Even though this eats our health, I don't know. The Lagavulin could be coming up. All right. Let's look carefully here. Got some good defensive cards. Now, I'm going to take Bloodletting. We get our first upgrade. It could rest. What do I have to do before... Oh, we're going to fight this guy. This is a tough one. You can get totally annihilated if I'm not. If I'm unlucky. I'm actually going to upgrade Bloodletting. We have so little health that I want to get the most out of it when I trade it. Even though Evolve, I know, I just said Evolve is kind of worthless. Okay, I really don't want to lose any health. Yeah, this is what I was fishing for. You really want to kind of wear these guys down quickly. They do a good bit of damage, but then once they stop attacking you, you've got like 2 turns. Okay, good. This is kind of what I was hoping for. So there's only 1 card in my deck, so I know Havoc is going to play it. And there's no point in playing Bloodletting, so let's get that extra attack in. Sure, that strike's gone, but I got it done before it was weakened. And eventually this guy will stop attacking. So these guys start off blitzing you and then slow down. Let's see what Havoc brings us. Strike. Definitely want that defense. And then I guess we're just going to have to attack. Ugh, Doubt came back. Okay, not gaining any health this turn. Boo, and all we have are defensive abilities. Well, let's get Wound out of our hand so we never have to pay for it again. Or we don't draw it again instead of like an offensive card. And pray we can do enough damage that he doesn't take our gold away, but that doesn't seem likely. So now he's going to run with all the money he's taken from us, and there's like zip we can do about it because we only drew offensive cards, so we're just going to have to deal with that. Ugh. Lame. Add a card to our deck. We desperately need... Oh, that's not... Okay. So we talked about Perfected Strike. Right now, yeah, we've removed 1 strike from our deck, so it's Thunderclap, deal 4 damage, apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies. That's nice if offense is what you need. It is also cool that it hits all enemies. But Headbutt is one of the better ones to pick up in Chapter 1. We might have to skip that boss if we want to live. Oh, whenever you play a power, a random card in your hand costs 0 for this turn. That's a great card because it lets you play like Evolve and Demon Form or whatever, and guaranteed you'll be able to play another card in your hand, which is fantastic because you want to get those powers out of your hand. But okay, so we won't encounter the 3 crystals again. Do we have the offense or the defense to really take anyone else down? I think the Gremlin Knob would just murder us, so we're going to skip that. And instead of getting a relic, we're going to fight this lame fight. Okay, he's coming at us for 6. We'd like to avoid that. If I bash him... Oh, okay, so let's look at this guy. Spore Cloud. On death, applies vulnerable to you for 2 turns. Best to save this guy for last. If there's 2 of them, remember you're going to take 50% more damage than you predicted. Let's make him vulnerable, trigger his curl up. Next turn we should definitely be able to wipe him out with 1 attack. And we're only going to eat 1 from these guys. Not all relics are super great. I would take an upgrade. If you have a great card to upgrade, like Evolve, a very good upgrade is better than a relic. I would say guaranteed. A nice to have upgrade and a relic's a chance at a relic versus the nice to have upgrade, I'd probably take the relic. Because there's a chance relics can be total game changers. Now this looks bad, but we know we can kill him. I've only got the 1 defensive card, so the rest might as well be on offense. Looks like we need some card draw to really make use of our bloodletting. But that's what Evolve is for. Okay, so let's see what Havoc brings us. Oh, I think Havoc just burned up Doubt, which is great. Another thing about Havoc that's super awesome is if the top card of your draw pile was already Exhaust, you're basically playing it for cheaps. If it's a power like Demon Form, then it doesn't matter that you gave it Exhaust because those cards can't, they get exhausted anyway. So that's fantastic. Let's mix our offense and our defense. Remember, enemy strength increases all their attacks damage. Okay. This guy, let's just annihilate him. So yeah, we do 8. He's vulnerable, and then a strike will do 9 more. So remember that a bash plus a strike is 17 damage. Also note that when doing your math, the game always rounds down. I read it in one of the little tips. Alright, so that was a 30, I can't remember. Alright, so now Iron Wave will give us some block. Warcry, draw 2 cards, place a card from your hand on top of your draw pile, exhaust. Warcry is better. When you upgrade Warcry, it becomes free. And we've got 3 upgrades left. And 1, 2, 3 would be pretty good. However, Iron Wave is Iron Wave's really good at protecting yourself. Let's go with Iron Wave. With our ability to cycle through our deck with Evolve, that hopefully we'll have at some point, like right now, getting back around to Iron Wave is going to be fantastic. Alright, now whenever we draw a wound, we get 2 cards, which is amazing. And there's no... let's see. I can do a fight, 2 fires, and an unknown, or I can do a merchant, 2 fires, and unknown. And like I said, fights are the worst, so... oh yeah, plus, merchant's card removal is always 50. Great. Apotheosis. Oh, it's only 178. This is like one of the best cards in the game. Armament's great. I love Armament. I can do 2 fully upgraded Armaments is about equivalent to an Apotheosis, maybe a little better in my book. Maybe not better. It's hard to say. If you have a ton of upgraded cards already, then like Apotheosis can be lame. Same for Armament. Armament does give you block, which is great. But buying a relic can be like much better. Like this one. You can now dig for loot at rest sites. So every time you go here, instead of healing or upgrading, you can just get a random relic. Fantastic. So I'd buy the shovel if I could. Now I have 281. I'm going to use Smiling Mask all the time if I can help it. So I want to keep some gold on hand whenever I run into merchants. But Apotheosis, I can do Apotheosis and the card removal service, and then I won't need Armament. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be great. Also, Evolve tends to clog up your deck with wounds, which can make armament a little less effective because it only upgrades everything in your hand. It's great that it's cheap, but I want to pay for this. What do I want to get rid of? Maybe I will trim... Oh, yeah. This one, of course. I don't have anything that benefits from having curses right now. So let's annihilate that, because it's definitely the worst card in my deck. And then I've got 53 left. But since card removal always costs 50, and that could be a merchant, we're going to save that. Because I'd rather not waste that encounter. If that wasn't the case... None of these are really worth picking up. I might grab a potion, though. Dexterity can be super helpful against... Strength and dexterity potions are great. Energy potions are fine, especially if you have a really expensive card in your deck like Demon. Apotheosis actually gets cheaper. Comes down to 1 when you upgrade it, so it's pretty good. I'm going to take... We have low health. I'm actually going to grab this Dex Potion. If we run into another merchant, forget about it. Fine. Upgrade. Apotheosis is going to upgrade every card in our deck for us. And that changes your whole upgrade... how you think about upgrades. It makes resting for health a bit more beneficial. Okay, so now this is cheaper. And why do you want cheaper? It's because there are a few ways to get extra energy. If I make this cheaper, I might squeeze in 5 extra block and prevent 5 health damage while upgrading everything. Those cards that you absolutely want to play when they come in your hand, if they can get cheaper somehow, you want that. Because you're going to play it, and everything else is going to be gravy. Let's go here. Ooh, lucky. 24 gold and a relic. Whenever you rest, you may add a card to your deck. So you get a free add choice, just like after combat, that you can add to your deck if you rest for health. Now, if I go here, rest is the smart choice, and especially since I can add a card, that's not too bad. Or I could upgrade something. Now, I just got Apotheosis, and one of the ways I think about it is cards that will... So we're not going to smith. We're going to rest. But when I upgrade now, I'm going to be looking to upgrade things so that before I get Apotheosis... That help me before I get Apotheosis. Like, now, if I upgrade Havoc, it'll be free. If it shows up in my hand before I get Apotheosis, a nice free card. That's a big difference. If I upgrade Iron Wave, that means I could get more block out of it. Generally, now, I only want to upgrade my defensive or card drawing cards. Upgrading my offensive cards, I'll get Apotheosis sometime the first time I go through my deck. And then it won't be there, and all my other cards will be upgraded. So now I only want to upgrade my logistical and defensive cards, basically skills. Because I know my offensive cards will be upgraded sometime in my first run through my deck. Like Evolve. If I drew Evolve unupgraded before I drew Apotheosis and I played it, I would never get another chance to play it, and I would never get the upgraded version. So I would definitely upgrade this even after I had an Apotheosis. Bloodletting is kind of the same way. Like, when I need to play it, I need it to be upgraded, guaranteed. The rest of these can wait. So, since I have so little health, I'm going to take that. And we're going to get a card choice, which isn't bad. Oh, sweet. Cleave can be pretty good. Pommel Strike, when upgraded, lets you draw 2 cards. And I think we're going to go that way because, although Vulnerable's damn good. We're going to go that way because it's going to combo well with Evolve. That's going to give us a lot more options. So not only do we heal, but this nice Dream Catcher we got right here made. Oh yeah, that was sweet. That was sweet. Yeah, Evolve with the card. there are two other cards that'll put wounds in your deck. There's like Wild Strike, which does 12 damage, and when it's upgraded does 17, which is sick for just 1 energy. And then there's a block card that adds 2 wounds to your deck and gives you like 15 block, which is a ton. Now, I'll note that Wild Strike is fantastic because it throws the wound into your draw pile. So it's great after you've played Evolve. Whereas the defensive card adds the 2 wounds to your hand. And even if you have played Evolve, you won't draw for that. And then they go into your discard and they cycle through your deck. So Wild Strike is better after you've played Evolve, and that one is better before you've played Evolve. All right, we draw Apotheosis. Great. One of the things to note is upgrading your cards can have a huge effect on how you play your hand, so it's generally best to do it first. Generally. Like, okay, we're taking 9 damage, and I've got 3 energy and 5 energy worth of cards to play. However, if I play Apotheosis, this card gets cheaper. This card gives me 7 block instead of 5. This card gives me more block. Suddenly everything becomes better. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Upgrade all of your cards for the rest of combat. So these cards are all upgraded. These cards are all upgraded. Every card. Except ones you've already played. Evolve is high on my menu of cards to play, but I don't actually want to Havoc away one of my wounds. My wounds are now really valuable. They'll let me draw a lot of cards, and it's very easy to draw full hands with Evolve if you get another woundy card. So I would love to play pretty much any of this. Bloodletting would suck. We get a defend. So, okay, now we're nice and defendy. That's great because that means our Iron Wave will now give us enough defense. We won't take any damage, and we can get Evolve out. Now, about this boss in specific... Oh, yeah, and because we played a power, Defend is going to be free this turn, which doesn't make any difference to us, but whatevs. I should have paid attention to that. I forgot I had the Mummified Hand. When its hit point is at or below 50%, which is 70 for its 140 health, we'll split into 2 smaller slimes with Slime Boss's current health. So, what does this mean when it comes to tactics? What it means is you want to get it close, optimally, you want to get it close to 70 health, like 71, and then deal a ton of damage to it so that when it splits and those slimes have its current health, they have a lot less health each. Because, right, if he's at 70, he'll split into 2 70 health slimes. Whereas if he's at 71 and we deal 20 damage to him, then he'll split into 2 51 health slimes, which is effectively like 38 less health. So, that's what you want to do. However, the way he fights, if you don't deal a ton of damage quickly to him, he's going to hit you with a horrific attack. And the only way to stop him from using that attack is to cause him to split. It like stuns him for a round while he splits, so... Alright, we're drawing less, but we got Evolve, which should... Yeah, see? Look at that, look at that. So each Evolve let us draw 2 more. When we drew a wound, we drew 2 more. And one of those was a wound, which let us draw 2 more. Now we're at like 9 hand size. Okay, he's preparing for his big attack. What's in our discard? Havoc, Iron Wave. Remember, every time we play Havoc, it's free. It's like getting a free cast of a card. Sure, we'll never see it again, but it's great for rushing stuff. Pommel Strike is upgraded. We'll now draw 2 cards when we use it. Anything I really want to play from here. Bloodletting would not be bad. Now, okay, in this boss fight, this last fight, it doesn't matter how much health you end with as long as you win, because you get full healed at the end of the chapter. So now is the perfect time to use all those things that eat your health up and murder bosses. Let's also note that with Pommel Strike, I'll draw cards. With Headbutt, I'll put a card on top of my deck. With the 2 combined, I can be guaranteed to get one of these cards into my hand. Havoc might be a great choice. Or maybe I could draw a Bash or a Bloodletting, and that would be better. Let's kick off with a Pommel Strike. Good, good. We really want to apply... We really want to apply vulnerable to him, because next turn we need to deal like 43 damage. Now we can eat this like once for this fight. And it looks like we're gonna. Flame Barrier will go 16 block and deal 6 to him. That's great. We're going to double down on defense. So this is actually good. We're only going to take 9. He's going to take 6. Thankfully, our bash was upgraded, so vulnerable lasts. So now, he's going to hit us with this draw. He's going back into the same cycle. Since we survived the first big crush, we're going to try and ease him down to 71 and hit him with that previous tactic. Okay, so we can prevent most of this damage. Like I said, I don't have to worry about maintaining my health as much this fight. Vulnerable is going to be good. So we're going to take 2, but we're going to maintain his vulnerability. And now, hopefully we can do a ton of damage to him. Like a good bloodletting would be great. So 50% chance to play a free strike or lose one of my wounds. But if I draw... This is what we want. Okay, headbutt. We're going to put bloodletting on top, because that's going to let us play a lot more at the expense of a little health, but he's not attacking, so now I could get one of those. Yeah, not worth it for free. Okay, because one of those was a wound, and I knew that, I get to draw some extra cards. 1, 2, 3. Let's see what Havoc gives us. Nice, a strike, perfect. Bloodletting. Oh, sure. That was perfect. Turns out I didn't need that potion of dexterity, although I totally forgot about it. But now we've got 2 10 health slimes. Oh, we're gonna destroy this. And they're not even attacking. It sucks when they split and then are immediately, like, there's 2 enemies attacking you. Okay, so we do 10. I think that one actually gives you wounds, which, and then, oh, and we manhandled that like a boss. And now, choices, choices, choices. Oh my. What? Yeah, let's see. Evolve without, yeah, Inflame because of the hand. I do like Inflame. I don't remember what my choice was there. I know I didn't choose Inflame, but I hope it panned out. if it didn't, remind me. But I've rarely found Inflame to be a card I wanted to have in my deck at the end of the game. If you can get Apotheos and then Bottled Tornado, so good. Yes, the bottled cards are great because they basically let you apply Innate. That is, starts off in your hand to one of your existing cards, and that's fantastic. All right, choose a card. Barricade, Dark Embrace, Bludgeon. Barricade is one of the most awesome and powerful defensive cards in the game. It's just really expensive, like Demon Form. Better than Demon Form, I would say. This is one of the best cards in the game. Dark Embrace, whenever a card is exhausted, draw 1 card. That would be fine, but I have Evolve for my draw needs, and really I don't have that many exhaust cards. Havoc and Apotheosis. Havoc will continuously exhaust, which would be great for my draw, but with Evolve, I'm going to have a full hand almost all the time anyway, if I get another card to combo with it. So Dark Embrace would be kind of overkill. We have to remember that I get a free cast after I use a power. And then Bludgeon just does 32 damage, which is a ton. When you upgrade it, I think it does 42, but it still costs 3, which is very expensive. And right now, my deck can't handle... I don't have any free defense, or I don't have that much extra power. Like, I can use the extra power to cast the cards I already have. Bludgeon can be fine, but it's not like a game maker, whereas Barricade can make your game. Plus, yeah, if we do even cast it, we'll get something for free. Worth. Okay, and as soon as you get choice of relics, think about what you already have. You basically constantly have to think about what you have right now. Runic Dome, gain 1 energy at the start of each turn. You can no longer see enemy intents. This one is like a game breaker. You had better already have a deck that provides offense and defense in tandem, or Runic Dome is going to screw you over. And it can screw you over anyway, because you won't know that they're not attacking you. You'll have to assume most of the time that things are attacking you. The more familiar you are with the game, the better this is, but the less experience you have with the game, the worse this one is. And in general, even for experienced players, I think Runic Dome is taunting, is danger. Tiny house, get a potion, 30 gold, 5 max health, and then a choice of cards. That's pretty good. Choice of cards in Chapter 1 sucks, so I'm going to count that out. 30 gold is not bad. A potion is not bad. Raise max. None of these are like amazing, but none of them are bad. Black Star. Elites now drop 2 relics when defeated. I love this one. This one is fantastic because I always want to defeat relics for points anyway. And then to get 2 relics for each. Oh, so good. Think of this as, this is 1 relic. Oh yeah, and you can look at them to see what rarity relic they are. There's a little quote here. Boss relics are the best. Common are the worst. Uncommon is, yeah, and then starter. So we'll be getting probably, I think it's 2 uncommon relics. Sometimes you get boss relics from other people, or chests, or I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, the rarity, I'll have to learn more about how the rarities are divvied out. But the more elites we fight, the better now. And elites are now worth double what they were before. Okay, so let's look at this chapter. Okay. Also, the bosses are randomized. There's at least 2 different bosses for the end of each chapter. Okay, so where's the first elite from the top? There and there. So these 2 are mutually exclusive. There's 1 over here. These 2 are the only ones on track for the other one. So we want to go down this left-hand side. The question is which one? Now, when I fight a regular fight, I have a chance of getting an upgraded card. Already upgraded, which is great, because then I don't have to spend my time upgrading it. That still doesn't mean that the question marks aren't better. Not in terms of points, probably, but in terms of, like, benefit to me. Survivability, success. Of course, I'm fully healed, and I have a little bit of cash. I could hit this merchant if I wanted. If I hit enough question marks, chances are one will be a merchant. Looks like there's a merchant I'm going to get anyway, so I don't need to hit one early. Although the more I hit, I forgot, the more cards I can pull out of my deck. So that I only get, like, because it'd be great. I'd love to get, I would take an Iron Wave over Strike almost every time. Or like the more likely, yeah, the less cards I have, the more likely I am to get Apotheosis, and that makes everything better. So let's go for maximum number of merchant hits. We'll go up this way, hit him. Probably want to hit that fire, hit here, here, merchant, guy. Yeah, perfect. Alright, here's a Chosen. He's going to start off with a debuff. Now, Barricade gets cheaper. One of the, if you're not sure, you can always come here and look. Yes, cheaper. But also, any card that there's nothing to increase, like this is just, there's no number here that could go up. It's probably going to get cheaper. So definitely going to start with this nice preparation card. Let's see what Havoc gives us. Alright, so Havoc gives us Defend. That's wasted this turn. Oh, but not if my block no longer expires. Matter of fact, I can hit Bloodletting, and I can cast this Defend too. Sure, it'll cost me 3 health. But then I'll be stocking up plenty of... Oh, it got cheaper because of Mummified Hand. I'm glad I didn't cast it too soon. It is best to do things... If you know you have to do something, just do it and evaluate afterwards. Because you can forget there could be like relics out to here, other crazy stuff. It can be so hard to keep track of it all. If you know you have to do something, do it. And sometimes you might be wrong that you have to do something because you might get an extra 3 or 4 block that saves your butt. Now, whenever Headbutt gets in my hand, I start wondering what's in my... If I want Bloodletting back or Havoc. Remember, I can chew up plenty of my health. And, of course, with Headbutt and Pommel Strike, I can get it into my hand guaranteed. Let's go with a Bloodletting, because I got a lot of attack I could use, and I've already got the defense I need. Havoc wouldn't be a bad choice either. But I don't think this guy's going to do... I'm going to be the only one hurting myself. So, since we can deal 6 damage to him and gain a ton of block, and our block lasts indefinitely, let's just go with this. And so once your block doesn't expire, you can just stack your block your first time through your deck, or whatever, what have you. And then you can just be some sort of berserker. But I would like to wear him down. Most give enough time, enemies will kill you. There are some pretty perfect defenses, but the enemies definitely ramp up over time. Okay, 15, we got plenty of that. Because we've stacked so much block, we have the option to go like all out. I definitely want to bash him, and evolve is going to be important. It's going to help nullify these stupid dazes, although, oh yeah, and because that's a power, So one of the beautiful things about your block not expiring is now if you ever get the chance to play free block cards, it's not wasted, even if you overblock. Okay, yeah, I hate you too, Dazes. So we have a full hand thanks to all these wounds. That's fine. He's not being offensive. Hit him with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pommel Strike and see what that offers us. And take some more attack. Alright, so he'll be dead next turn. Now, if I had Feel No Pain, which is it's a power, and it's every time a card exhausts, gain 4 or 6 if it's upgraded block, then Daze suddenly becomes like an awesome bonus for us. Yeah, so let's just kill him. Very nice block potion. Like I said, we can get upgraded cards. Now what do we have here? Exhaust all non-attack cards in your hand, deal 20 damage. Great. Anger is cool. Place a copy of this card in your discard pile. The more you use Anger, the more Angers you will draw. It's definitely like the dark side. They can begin to clutter up your deck. And of course, they don't provide defense unless you have something that the more attacks, the more defense you get, which can be great. Sever Soul, 20 damage would be fantastic. We don't have any impressive attacks already. Although, I will say, upgrading your cards is close to having much stronger attacks. It's about as good. Because this just ups your defense, offense, card draw, efficiency. Everything gets better. Everything. So good. So having a really strong attack would be great. So when they're vulnerable, it'd be like 30 damage. Plus, it gets rid of non-attack cards in your hands, like wounds and statuses and curses, as well as, of course, all your defensive cards. But you can play your defense cards and then use it. However, we really rely on having wounds in our deck. And so that's kind of like, I don't want to get rid of my wounds. I want them to keep cycling, so I keep drawing. And Fire Breathing is a power. Plus, upgraded, it's free. For each attack played this turn, deal 1 damage to all enemies. That's great. Especially because with Barricade, we can get to the point where we're only using our attacks because, you know, we don't need defense. We already played it all. And because it's free and a power, something else is going to become free when we use it, which is great. That's definitely, like, the best thing about it right now. is it can make another card free. A free card that makes another card free. It's like a free madness. Alright, so what do we have going on here? 20 damage incoming. I'm thinking, I want defense. We're definitely going to throw up Flame Barrier. And now we've got a little left. I could go defend. I could go headbutt. I could bloodlet and use barricade, which seems like a good idea, but barricade's not going to be super helpful against these guys because they do a ton of damage and then they don't do any and run away. Barricade's not going to pay off in the long run. Flame Barrier, I do have a headbutt, so since I played this turn, I can get it back with headbutt next turn. And since these guys go all out attack and do tons of damage, that's exactly what I want in my hand next turn as well. So I definitely want to play headbutt. And the question is, do I want to play defend as well at the cost of 3 health? And well, let's see, 3 health, 5 block. Yeah, of course I want to play this. So there, I just saved myself 2 damage. And we're going to hit, say, let's hit this guy. And get Flame Barrier back. Plus, now we're at -6 health, which we should heal up. Of course, if I played Barricade, something else would have been free, but I still wouldn't have been able to play both Headbutt and Defend. Alright, great. Apotheosis is great. It's going to make our Flame Barrier even better, and they're still attacking. What more could I ask for? I'd love to play both Flame Barrier and Iron Wave, but it's obvious which one is going to protect more of my health. And I've already used up all my guaranteed healing. Look at that. Nice and safe. Only taking 7 damage. So now 1 or 2 of them is going to start thinking about running away, and it's time to focus that one down. Alright, this guy's free, and he makes another card free. Plus, it benefits from things I play after it. Very important to realize. Okay, so we're going to go ham on this guy. And, oh, nice. And we can even afford some defense. But I would have taken the 12 just to kill him. I want my gold back. Plus, of course, every attack I do now has a bonus 1 AoE damage. Okay, Bash plus Strike. Upgraded Bash is 10. Plus Strike is 9 plus 4, 13, 23 damage. This guy's got 23 health. Okay, thank goodness. We can take him out. Now that we take him out, we can use Havoc to do something. No, I don't think this is going to do anything. Oh, interesting. It does draw. That's good to know. I didn't realize that it actually drew the top card, so a nice little bit of trivia there. And we put Vulnerable on him for free, which is great. This was the perfect time for him to become vulnerable, because he's going to pop that shield and try and run away, but we are going to murder him next turn. Okay, now's not the time for Iron Wave. Our strikes do more damage. Barricade, obviously, not the time. Fortunately, we're dealing 13 damage to each of these. We take them both back, heal up to 72. Minus 5 health that fight. Okay, now, when you have to pay for Fire Breathing, it sucks. Deal 8 damage, the enemy is vulnerable, gain 1 energy, and draw 1 card. So this one's basically a free 8 damage if the enemy is vulnerable. We only have the 1 vulnerability applying card, but that's not bad. And if it's free, then Fire Breathing will trigger. Yeah, okay. It's got potential. Still, mostly I find, unless you have 2 or 3 cards that apply vulnerable or some relics, Dropkick's pretty lackluster. It can be free, but sometimes you don't even want to attack an enemy that you may, like, for low damage. Low, especially unupgraded, this card blows. Mostly I feel like it takes up space. But it's not bad upgraded. Okay. Spot Weakness. If an enemy intends to attack, gain 3 strength. This is pretty good. It does cost you energy, which can be hard to come by. But it's not bad at all. Fire Breathing Since I have the Mummified Hand, Fire Breathing's not a terrible choice, because for my 1 energy, another card will become free, saving me at least 1 energy. And of course, then all my attacks will deal 2 AoE damage. I'm actually going to pick Fire Breathing because it makes another card free, which is even more reliable than Dropkick. Plus, it won't cycle back through my deck. I'll only get it once. Okay, let's go in here. When you do a long string of... Alright, sweet. Remove a card from my deck for 75. I don't want to waste this encounter, so I'll take it. It's the Cleric! Okay. Got 4 strikes, 4 defends. Which one do I want to get rid of? Nothing else horrible. My defend cards are pretty solid. I have significantly better... Let's ditch a defend this time. Well, when in doubt, alternate. Okay, unless I see anything great, I want to use that Smiling Mask bonus for sure. Another Flame Barrier. Ooh, that's pretty good when I got Barricade in my deck. Another Evolve. So once you get the first... Okay, so important. Evolve stacks. But what part stacks? Everything stacks in this game. If you're like, I wonder if I can't get this ability again. Like, Barricade is one of the few abilities you can only have once. But this stacks. If I played an upgraded... If I played 2 Evolves, then I would draw 2 cards. It's the same as playing 1 upgraded Evolve. Because the part that stacks is, for 1, the wounds that are thrown into your deck. For 2, the draw. So the draw stacks. So if I have this Evolve plus my other Evolve, becomes really potent. Really good. Wild Strike, shuffle a wound in your draw pile. That's really good, especially when upgraded. Remember, I've got Apotheosis, so I can count on this being upgraded. I really want this. Evolve wouldn't be bad. But with just Wild Strike alone would be enough to give me plenty of wounds. And so if you want to think about it like this, you don't have to upgrade Evolve if you happen to have 2. Now if I take this, because I have the Mummified Hand, this can also, it's basically a free play. But it is kind of going to clog up my hand. And then I'm going to draw like a million cards every turn because of all these wounds. Flame Barrier's also nice and high on my list. And I can't, if I could get Bottled Tornado, that would be great, but... And of course, one thing to really watch out for are these Regen Potions. You kind of want to have a Regen Potion at all times. And the fact that you can buy them every now and then is fantastic. Now, we've only got 82 cash. I can't even buy this and remove a card. Card removal has been going quite well, so I'd rather have more powerful cards. 30... Oh man, I want 39, 70, 84, so we're 2 gold short of getting Wild Strike and Flame Barrier. So I can basically only buy a single card. And I'm not going to hit another Merchant. Wow. Wild Strike would be... Or I can just shorten up my deck and get the cards I already have sooner and more often. Would I rather have 2 Flame Barriers? Since I have Headbutt and Evolve, I would love to get Wild Strike, but let's defense first. That's how you survive this game. Plus, it's cheap. Okay, so we've got some interesting choices. Let's take a look at how you can abuse the Mummified Hand. When you play a power, a random card in your hand costs 0 for the turn. If I played Fire Breathing right now, which card would be reduced to 0? Well, it skips cards that already cost 0, and it skips cards that cost X. So it'd be the defend, the strike, or the bash. However, if I waited till after I play the defend and the strike, I can get the bash for free. Or watch this. This is actually the best way to go about it. There's actually no... Oh, yeah. So normally there'd be no point in playing the block. But if I play defend, now I've got 2 energy. That's enough to cast either of these as long as one is free. Plus, they're both attacks. And I really want to play bash first. So we'll make one free. It was the strike. And now we've got fire breathing, so our attacks are going to do a little bit extra. There you go. So that was maximally efficient. Sadly, his armor... This guy's got really brutal armor. You kind of have to hit him with poison, or like... The more attacks you have per attack, the worse it gets. Alright, let's see. What do we have here? I really want my draw. Fire breathing upgrade is going to be a freebie because everything costs 1. And I could draw and then use fire breathing and something else might get free, but let's just use it right now. Okay, our strike gets free. Do I want a headbutt? No. I want defense. What are the chances I'll draw defense? Well, if I put a defense card on top, I will draw it. So that'd be headbutt, pommel, put the defense card in my hand, but then I won't be able to play it because that's all my energy. If I headbutt and then pommel strike, I'll be out of energy, but then I can play bloodletting, and that'll only let me play Iron Wave. So I'll get in a lot more offense, but sadly, the more we hit him, the worse it is, and we're weakened right now. Really, I should focus on defense. So let's play this. It does the most damage. And draw a card. Flame Barrier is definitely what I wanted. But I can't play it because I don't have the energy. Boo. Okay, one thing about how it attacks... you have to do health damage for it to suffer. So we're going to eat this. So that's 21 damage. I've got 3 block. That blows. Definitely time to use a block potion. Anytime you're going to save yourself 12 health damage, pretty much the time to use your block potion. It's great to have a block potion in stock. If I had my choice of what 3 potions I want up here, at any time, I'd want strength, a block, and I'd want to have had regens, but already used them. So strength, block, and I think draw 3 or energy, depending on my deck. Alright, so we've got a power. It can make something free. It'd be great if it was Flame Barrier, but I'll take Havoc. Now it could get rid of one of my wounds. Boo. Let's play it anyway. Alright, we get a free defense. That doesn't hurt. And then Flame Barrier to up that defense. If I wanted more defense, I could have gone Dexterity, but we'll be fine. Plus, note, this is a triple attack, so we're going to... Flame Barrier is going to hit it 3 times. And it can't block that. Well, it can block that, but it's out of block. Okay, so what are we up to this turn? It's not attacking. Definitely time to prepare ourselves and deal damage. Bash helps us overcome this thing's stupid amount of defense. If I play Barricade, I get a free cast of something, but I don't know what it's going to be. And I won't be able to... Let's go for a blitz on it. Let's try and kill it off. With our fire breathing, yeah, I think we got this. Draw 2 cards. Drawing with Evolve can be tough. You want to free up a lot of room in your hand first sometimes. So we've got defense and headbutt and a Havoc in here. I would love to wind up with that Havoc in my hand. Okay, some free defense. Stack a little more defense. 11, still doing 21 damage. Let's see. If I play this, I can play everything in my hand. And it'll be dead. Okay. I'll trade 3 health to dodge a 21 damage attack that was going to hit me some. Alright, now... So Headbutt has been great for us. Don't get me wrong. Headbutt is also... You can put a wound on top of your deck and then draw 2 cards with a Pommel Strike. Intimidate looks fantastic to me right now. Apply 2 weak to all enemies, exhaust for free. So it was free before, but now that it's upgraded, it applies weak for 2. So that's great because it's 2 turns of weakness instead of just 1. And of course, it's free. We'll take it. And then it won't be in our deck to bother us after the first round through. Maybe we'll get to see it in action. Plus, there are some relics that make weak even better. Fun fact, upgrade Body Slam, which costs 0, will do your strength and damage even if you have 0 block. So it's great for limit break builds too. Yes, you are correct, Evan. It definitely is. Okay, so what's the order of play here? Fire Breathing is already upgraded, so we could feel free to play it before Apotheosis, and it makes something free. Maybe Apotheosis, which would be great. So let's do it. Oh look, it does. And then, yes, we've played only upgraded cards so far. That's why having an upgrade fire, yeah, fantastic. Now this is a ton of damage coming at us, and it will be for a long time, so I'm just going to go ahead and drink the Dex Potion. We're definitely going to be using Iron Wave. And if we look at who's dealing the most damage, it's this Slaver, and he's got a net. If you don't know what that is, that's a net. When he uses it on you, it sucks, because it means you can't play attacks at all this turn. Plus, he has the least health. So I'm going to try and kill him first. Also, this guy always hits for 7 in a wound. That's like his only ability, and we actually feed off wounds, so not too worried. Let's throw out, obviously I want Flame Barrier. Let's see what our Havoc gives us first. And it's nice to have Fire Breathing at this point, because we're actually doing a lot of AoE damage. So, Observe. So we get up to 18 block. There's 32 damage incoming, which sucks balls, but we did what we could. And they're all gonna eat. They're gonna eat 18 damage worth of fire. And our Fire Breathing isn't bad. Okay, they're coming back in. 15, 27 more damage. Oh, wait. Make that 20. And then our Flame Barrier is almost enough to do that on its own. But wait, there's more. Fire Breathing can make something free. Oh, wait. Playing Barricade can make something free. Oh, wait, I can play everything in my hand. And I have 28 block. Ah. Plus, you're all going to get hurt for attacking me. Like I said, mixing your offense and defense is like the best thing you can do. Okay. They're coming back for more. This guy's got 24 health. Can I kill him? 12, 9, that's 21. I have no draw. I cannot. Now, it looks like it's going to cost us 4 energy to play all these, but this is a power, so it makes another card free. I think Flame Barrier or Havoc is the way to go. We're going to want those Flame Barriers back. Oh wait, if I play 2 attacks, I've got 2 Fire Breathing. That's actually going to kill him. Sweet. That's going to save me 14 damage. And play this. Yeah, we should be good. So yeah, if you want to know how much your Fire Breathing's doing, there it is, 2. Oh yeah, we're destroyed. These guys can be really tough. The boss fights with like 3 people, yeah. So your hand is full. So if you have if you draw too much, too many wounds, all this stuff, like you just don't draw anymore. If your hand is full and cards would be added to it, they go to your discard. If you would draw from your deck and your hand is full, you don't. Okay, 7 and 7 is 14. We've got 4 block left. We can block all the damage with a simple defend, and then we can bash one of them. I think that's the better move. Because the bash will pay off in the future. I could use Flame Barrier, but plus we kind of prioritize attacking thanks to fire breathing. Let's see what that gives us. Aw, well, okay, fine. We probably could, yeah, so we didn't need all this block. I could have saved myself 3 health here, but we're not looking too shabby on health. That time exhaust only did not do me a solid. Alright, as you can see, Evolve is really paying off with this guy adding wounds to our deck. Headbutt and Pommel Strike. Oh yeah, that's not going to do anything. So let's go Pommel Strike. Headbutt. Note that it didn't ask me which card to return. It just returned Pommel Strike because it was the only one here. Because I have that option set. We don't even need defense, but it's all we got. Because we have Barricade to keep stacking it. Oops, I forgot I didn't even need to play that. Alright, so now, sweet. The Black Star starts to pay off. We get a Blood Vial and a Bag of Preparation. Draw 2 extra cards at the beginning. That's fantastic. Especially because we have Mummified Hand, which means we can get quite a few free plays. Potion of Dex is great. And here we have a choice of unupgraded cards. Now I could skip this one. I don't actually gain anything in particular from skipping it, except I don't clog up my deck. But Disarm is really good. It's impressively good, and once it's out of your hand, you don't have to worry about it. However, we don't have that many great attack cards, and Uppercut is both offensive and defensive at the same time. And deals pretty good damage. Vulnerable, weak, and significant damage. Yeah, we're going to take this. Apotheosis can cover upgrading it, so. And then I'm going this way. 49 health, I don't mind upgrading something. Something that I'll want upgraded before Apotheosis. Fire Breathing isn't a bad choice. Havoc's probably the best choice. They both become... Actually, Fire Breathing is probably the best choice because of Mummified Hand. Barricade is a fine choice, but other powers can actually make it free. So let's upgrade Fire Breathing. It's just purely making my deck more energy efficient. What do we find here? We can buy 2 potions. So yeah, so we can buy 1, 2, or 3 potions. Note that the first potion is 20, and that's 1 potion for 20 gold, and the last one is 3 potions for 40 gold, which is like significantly better. This is like 13 gold for each potion. This one's like 20. So the more you buy, the more cost efficient it is. And she'll basically give you your choice of 3, and you don't have to take them all. Like, she doesn't fill up your slot. You just have your choice of 3 to take. You can discard what you already have. I like the Dex Potion. For your money, 2 is only... 1 is more expensive. Significant. 1 is 1 potion for 20. 2 is each potion costs 15. And 3 is each potion costs 13 plus 1 at the end. 2 is not bad. Two's not shabby at all. And since we're missing 2, I'll take it. Weak potions, lame. Not the best, in my opinion. But I'll take them. If I'd paid for 40, I would have had my choice of which potion to leave. But I already like the one I had, and I'm pretty low on gold. And there's a merchant here, so... Strawberry. Raise your max health by 7. I'm into it. It also heals us 7, which is great. And a merchant. The slaver... Evan says, the slaver crew is my least favorite elite encounter. They're not great. There's the Chapter 3 floating demon thing that turns itself intangible so that all your attacks only do 1 to it. I hate that. But I have to say, probably the one that screws me up the most is the 3 crystal things that we had to fight at the beginning of this one. Okay, I could pick up another Havoc. Feed is kind of cool. Deal 10 damage. If this kills a non-enemy minion, gain 3 permanent max hit point exhaust. So you only get 1 shot to use it, but if you kill a non-minion, you get permanent health. And remember, permanent health also heals you that amount, which is great. Plus, for 1 mana, 10 damage is great. And when you upgrade it, it does more damage, and you get a 4th permanent hit point. I really like to have feeds, but they're not worth the money to buy, especially this late in the game. Membership card. Some of these things you'll see I've unlocked, maybe you haven't. I wish I could sell potions. Havoc. This one's nice and cheap. It's pretty tempting, but I can remove a card. Removing a card is better than picking up an unupgraded card for sure. I am going to ditch. Let's count offense and defense cards. This is something when you want to get a feel for like how your deck is going to work out. Look at offense cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not counting the mixed ones. 7, 8. 8 out of 22. So more than 1 in 3 cards will be offensive. And then let's look at defense cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to count the mixed ones as defense cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. And while weak is nice, yeah, 7. So I got slightly more offense than defense, and then the powers, of course, and Havoc and stuff are unpredictable. The powers are basically great and free. I'm gonna ditch a defend card. I'd basically rather draw an attack or one of my better defend cards than one of these. That was worth my 50. Thank you, Smiling Mask. Okay, where to go? I think I'll take more question mark encounters. Well, if that one's a merchant, it would totally suck. And I could potentially heal if I fight here. And get a nice card pick. Let's go for the fight, actually. I think almost all the time question marks are better, but I hate this fight. This fight is brutal. The Mystic and the Centurion are just oof. Okay, we want to sneak down to getting the Barricade or the Flame Barrier for free. But that's going to be a tough gamble. The best we can do is play some of these cheaper cards and then hope. So we got 12 damage incoming. My thought would be play Defend, Defend, and Havoc. And of course, Havoc could play a power from off the top of our deck and make something free. So let's save Havoc for last. I guess we're just going to focus on defense this turn. If we do get Barricade out the door, that would be great. Oh, if we play Flame Barrier, Defend will become worthless. Well, obviously we're not going to have a bang-up offensive turn anyway, so Okay, Iron Wave comes out. It's a shame to lose it, but it's nice to have the defense. And then, come on, Barricade. Yes. So, all that extra block all 3 extra block we played was not wasted. And when we play Barricade, it chains into Strike. I would have loved to have Flame Barrier, but I'll take Strike. And the Mystic can heal. It heals both of them by 16. So, you pretty much have to burn that one down first, unless you can do, like, 76 damage in 2 turns. Okay, we can Apotheos, and we should. We have Headbutt and Pommel Strike again. Personally, I like to play with 1 of each card if I can keep my deck small, but if my deck starts to get larger, I'll start to throw in more of the cards I really want. We can rock this turn for sure. We just have to think about how to do it. They're not attacking us, so Flame Barrier's less desirable. Havoc, always desirable. We have Bloodletting, Headbutt, Pommel Strike. I think I'd rather draw new cards than any here, so we'll worry about Headbutt later. We'll start off seeing what we get. Okay. If I play Bloodletting, and trust me, we're going to need to spend some hit points to get ahead. I can play Strike, Headbutt, Fire Breathing will make Uppercut free. Or I can actually play Uppercut first so that she's vulnerable. Then I can play Fire Breathing, making one of these free. We've got Fire Breathing already going on. How many attacks have I played this turn? Played Pommel Strike, Normal Strike, and Uppercut. So we're actually going to deal 6 Fire Breathing damage already, so she's dead. Just doesn't realize it yet. So let's go with Headbutt. And I think I'm going to want put Pommel Strike on top. That should guarantee we get the next Flame Barrier. Who knows what he's going to do? Probably attack for, yeah, 14 damage. I figured we'd get Intimidate. It's free, so why not? I figured if we got that, there'd be no point in having Uppercut. It's expensive. And right now, he's not, like, within one-shot territory. Let's whack him, and hopefully I get, yeah, Flame Barrier. Now, I can play Evolve for free, but I don't know what I'm going to get out of it. And it might not be defense, so best to just stick with Flame Barrier. We'll negate this turn. We've got Barricade, so all the block we play adds up. And we deal a little bit of damage too. Okay, 10 versus 9. A little bit of block would be great. Let's go with Pommel Strike. That still gives us access to our block and all that goodness. Let's go ahead and play Evolve. Might be a little late in the match, but that's fine. It makes Strike free, which I'm into. And we still have enough for our defense. Because I want to gain back as much health as possible. After, remember, we have an elite fight after this, so my goal was to actually gain health if I could. Okay, Bloodletting's in my hand. I won't accidentally lose health, so let's play Havoc and see what we get. Strike. One of the great things about Barricade is it makes playing Havoc completely, like, efficient. Even if I play defense on the wrong turn, I get to keep it. 8 times 3, 24 versus my 7. 16 plus 7. That'll protect me, and he will die from attacking me because of Flame Barrier. Because it hits for 6 damage times 3, which is going to be great. And then we might as well stack that. I love how the cards combo together. Barricade, it's not so bad. Yeah, it's bad. None of this looks good to me. Flex is fine, but it slows down my draw. So we're just going to skip that. The fighter arc. Let's see. Let me check. Checking in on chat. Looks like Wizmo joined us and is talking. Okay, I've seen enough. Buying now. I told you to buy it, Wizmo. Want to see how deep the deck build aspect was. Seems sweet. Both these runs were the same Ironclad type, right? Yeah. I assume the other choices are much different. They are. Yeah, the fighter archetype, says Evan. Right now there's only one choice that's silent. The third type, I heard it's going to be something called Crowbot on one of the wikis. Apparently that was revealed in like some sort of mystery event. Crowbot. Don't know what that means. That's all anyone knows. Take it with a grain of salt. It even says on the wiki, but there's been a hint. Min or max deck size? I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever gotten... I might have gotten to 40 once. Achievement for having a 6-card deck? Yes. There's also bonus points at the end for having 35 or more cards. I'll play with the silent in the next run, then I'll probably wrap up the stream. Because they do get long the more successful you get. Okay. Weakness, first turn, seems great to me. This is why you want those exhausts. It's like, well, I drew 1 defend, and he's doing 12 damage. Okay, everything costs 1. Pommel Strike let me draw a card. If I play Fire Breathing before my attacks, I'll do a little extra damage. Oh, let's make something free. Headbutt's fine. Since I'm gonna have to spend some energy to attack, I'm gonna use Pommel Strike because maybe I'll draw. Yay, defense! So of course, defend and attack is the best. So he's doing 8. I've got 5, and I don't even mind defending myself and then hitting with a headbutt. Now I can draw something back. Let's pull an Iron Wave. Keep that attack and defense combo going. Plus, since it's actually listed as an attack, even though it gives defense, that means that it'll trigger my Fire Breathing. Okay, now he's doing 4 times 3. He's already weakened, so Uppercut isn't going to defend us at all. 12. Flame Barrier will deal with all the damage and hit him back for 12. So then the question is what to use next. I could spill some of my blood to use Uppercut, but I think we'll just play it safe and pick away at him. Now when he becomes unweakened, one of these weak potions, great for single target elite fights. Gross. 21 damage. Okay, we've got 2 powers, and I would love to play them for free. First off, let us Apotheos. I'm gonna have no defense whatsoever, huh? Let's play Evolve. Awesome. Made Barricade free. That's our other power, which will make something free. We're gonna whack him. Because we have no defense, and it'll pay off in the future too. We're gonna throw weakness on him. We're just gonna eat 15 damage. Which sucks, but we are pretty much on the home stretch to the boss, so... Okay, wounds. Wounds give us lots of cards. Let's see what Havoc gives us this turn. Okay, a free strike isn't bad. He's doing 16 damage. We can easily stop that with one flame barrier, flame thing. Let's use... So I can play this and this. And I can get one of these for free. Let's use... Okay, let's use this strike. Then we'll... Alright, sadly we got Pommel Strike for free, but whatever. Uppercut, he's already weakened. I'm more interested in defending myself than offending him. Especially because this will do 24 damage in response to his basically doing 0 to us, so... That was fine. The Book of Stabbing. I love these enemies. The art's fantastic. Okay, now he's doing 20 damage. Now it'd be great to kill him. We've got a good bit of defense. We can actually we can block all this. So let's go slow and steady. And that's while he's weakened. Okay, he just keeps doing more and more damage. I think that's like a special power. If his damage goes up by like 6 every time, so it's terrifying. What say you, Havoc? Oops, there goes a wound. Well. Not much I could do here. If I want to save 2 extra health, I could have used Dexterity before my 1 block. But that's kind of a waste of the potion. He's doing 21 again. Let's slow his roll and save ourselves 6 health with that potion. I think that's fine. Especially if we can't finish him off next turn. I think we can. Yeah, this'll do. Alright, every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 4 block. Amazing. This combos so well with Barricade and our kind of focus on cheap attacks. Alright, plus 10 max health. I'll take it. Once again, Blood for Blood is pretty good, unupgraded or not. Finally, a high damage attack besides Uppercut, which is fine. 13 is fine, but this will be 16 or 20 fully upgraded. And it'll combo with our Bloodletting as well as regular combat damage. So I'm going to take it. Warcry, when upgraded, is a free kind of hand combo. Yeah, it can do some good stuff, but we really needed some beefy offense. And Blood for Blood's one of the best, because you're guaranteed to take damage. It's going to happen. Okay, they're going all defensive on the first turn. We've got a power. We got power. Let's see what Havoc gives us. Oh, Fire Breathing. Fire Breathing makes Headbutt free, which is cool. And Fire Breathing is a power, so the fact that it got exhausted, no biggie. Do I want to get Havoc back next turn? That's not my best Havoc. Also, so this guy flies. Reduce attack damage by 50%. Cancel if dealt attack damage 3 times in 1 turn. Only attack damage from cards counts. Not like Fire Breathing, not like from your relics. And it can be tough to do a lot of damage to it. So generally, I only use, if I can, I use 1 attack that hits multiple times. Otherwise, I just kind of try and neutralize him and save him for last. If you do cancel, if you do hit it with 3 attacks, or an attack that hits 3 times, or whatever, some combo with that, then it stuns him and he loses his turn completely and lands on the ground and sucks until he can get back in the air. So while they're actually kind of deadly, they do also, one of their attacks hits like 5 times, and if you have Flame Barrier up, it'll just totally annihilate them. So these guys you can learn to deal with in some interesting ways. No guarantees. Okay, here. With Bloodletting, we can cast everything in our hand. We're going to get something for free with Evolve. Let's play a strike. So we're going to focus on this guy. Play evolve and hope for uppercut. Yeah. And then because we got uppercut for free, well, bloodletting will actually play into. Let's save our health for now. We won't worry about blood for blood. And let's pull back. Uppercut tends to get better and better the more you use it on someone. Plus, yeah, so flight doesn't prevent fire breathing and other flame barrier damage, so. Yeah, he's got one big attack, and one of his other attacks is just like 1 damage times 5, which is easily neutralized in a lot of ways. Okay, Chosen, they're coming in hard on offense, and I have like no defensive cards. Let's go Apotheosis, Pommel Strike, and hope that we draw an Intimidate. Barricade's not going to do us any good this turn. Iron Wave is defense. I guess we'll have to live with that. We're just going to get beat up this turn. I could have used Dexterity once again, but... and we're going to eat 22 damage or something. Oh, because that vulnerable? Ouch. Ow. Okay, he's not doing anything. He's coming in for a big swing. If I could kill him off, it would be great. Yeah, I can definitely cast everything in my hand. It doesn't particularly matter the order. Fire breathing's not going to help with any of our attacks. But I can go. It doesn't. So actually, okay. Here we managed to take no damage, and they'll be weak next turn because that shout was upgraded. I wish he'd attacked me with his like ×5 BS attack, because Flame Barrier would have broke him. Alright, well, it's all defense, Flame Barrier being pleasantly defense and offense. Oh yeah, and so now, what is this? Hex. Whenever you play a non-attack, shuffle a Daze into your pile. So, got Daze for days. Thoughts on dual wield? Dual wield has been tough to use, in my opinion. Like, anything that copies, anytime you see copy or double, or triple even, go for it. There's a great way to abuse it somehow, but it's not always guaranteed to be in the run you're having. Okay, we survived the worst of their offense. The defense will come, so we're just gonna keep burning them down. Okay, I've been weakened for the rest of this combat, pretty much. This guy's coming in for 4 times 25, so normally this would be 1, but he's got strength 3, which is insane. Okay. This guy can die, right? Uppercut will one-shot him. Pommel Strike will not. It's going to take 2 energy to kill him. And then here... Oh wait, if I headbutt, 13 damage and I have 2 fire breathing, that will kill him. Okay, I like where this is going. If I put something on top, I'll end up drawing it. I don't have any block right now, but that should be fine. We're actually going to put Bash on top. Draw 2, Flame Barrier. We're going to use, so here's what we're going to do. I don't want to take this. This guy's dead. We've got fire breathing. This guy is not dead. But if I hit him 3 times this turn, he loses his wings. And we already hit him once, you can tell, because he's only got 2 left on his little flight indicator here. And then I won't be taking any attacks at all. So I'll lose 3 life to avoid a 20 damage attack. And then I've got 3, so I can actually uppercut him and make him vulnerable first. His 50% protection still applies, or at least it's like, there you go. Yeah, and he drops stunned. And now everything dies. Very nice. Ooh, and Strength Potion. Strength Potion can be one of the best. Oh, wow. Clothesline is a good card. Not quite great, but damn good. Sentinel is crazy good if you can exhaust it. Crazy good. If this card is exhausted, gain 2 energy is fantastic. However, we've got like nothing that would exhaust it. Still, we're only on chapter 2, right? So, potential's there. Infernal Blade is one of my favorite cards. Upgraded, it's free. Add a random attack to your hand. It costs 0 this turn. Exhaust this card. So, not only can it help trigger exhaust things, but you get like, for 0, you get a free use of an attack. Now, it's not upgraded, but it's almost always great. And sometimes it gives you exactly what you need. But it can add a lot of variety to your deck without bloating it with cards. Sentinel's fine. If my block ratio might be a little low, so I'm tempted to go with Sentinel in case I ever get something that could exhaust it. I mean, Havoc could potentially exhaust it, but Infernal Blade, you can get some really good stuff from Infernal Blade. How many upgrades do I have left? 1. Anything dying for an upgrade? Because Infernal Blade would be sick. That Havoc still has never been upgraded. Infernal Blade would be one that I upgrade immediately. I'm going to take Sentinel. The potential for extra energy is just worth it. Alright, we don't have enough money to get Jaxed or help this addict. If you have 85 gold, you can get a random relic for 85, which is great. If you have Jax, you can trade it to it. I forget for what. Money? We go here. I'm at half health. I'm going to gain 2 when I go into combat. Who's the boss here? Second tier is... check the chat while my brain tries to come out. Final unlocked tier for Ironclad has some interesting cards. Okay. What does upgrading this do? 8 block and 3 energy? Whoa! Okay, well, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Let's upgrade Havoc. That way it's free, even if we haven't got Apotheosis yet. Remember, Havoc can play Apotheosis for us, so worth. Okay, 3 energy. The Bronze Statue. So, starts off with 3 stacks of Artifact, negates the next 3 buffs, 300 health, and it's doing something unknown that's not attacking. Whenever you see the question marks, it means they're not attacking, but they're doing some kind of unique ability. This seems like a great time to quaff my potions, as I opted to upgrade instead. I think an upgrade is worth significantly more than a potion. So I'm relying on my dex. We'll upgrade offense this turn. I can wait on upgrading the dex and maybe I won't need it. This guy's going to be really resistant to vulnerable and weak thanks to these stupid artifact things. But we'll try and wear through that sooner rather than later. Okay, we have a power, which can give us a free power. Obviously, I'd like that to be Barricade. Chances are a little slim, I would say. But let's play other cards first. I could just play Fire Breathing, Barricade, and then whatever freebie cards I get. Because I can actually play 2 powers. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, we're going to have Uppercut. Great. And Strike. Yeah, that's not bad. And especially because Uppercut gets rid of 2 stacks of artifacts because it applies 2. It doesn't matter what strength the applications are, and this can really screw you over if you use like a poison potion on an artifact. But hey. Okay, so we've got 22 damage coming in. Flame Barrier is really going to help, especially because it'll dish back. This guy's doing something nasty. These guys steal your cards, and then when they die, the cards go to your hand. So killing them can actually be a good way to get... because they steal like your best cards somehow. Or at least that's what it's always seemed like to me. Okay, I need this block. 22's incoming. I could throw out 1 strike, but that seems lame. Let's just use our fancier block, even though it's all the same. Oops, I should have used dexterity. Should have used my potion. This is like 5 chip damage. That's no good. Ah, see, it always steals your best card. Okay, let's let it havoc. Oh, we get a free evolve. That's great. And it makes Flame Barrier free, which is also great. Fire Breathing first because we might do attacks. Flame Barrier should deal that. Now, we really want to kill this guy. Intimidate. Applies 2 weak to everyone. Sure, that'll actually get rid of his resistance to vulnerable and stuff. Fire Breathing's doing well. Fire Breathing not always great. If you have to pay, if you can't upgrade it, it really just kind of sits in your hand and blows. Or if you don't have bonuses for playing stuff like that. All right. What do we got here? Okay, 26 damage incoming. That's bad. Looks like Flame Barrier is the way to go. Thankfully, we have Barricade. Iron Wave will give us some block too, and let us pick away. Or we could return Flame Barrier to the top of our deck. Which might be worth it. Let's go with defense and working this damn thing down. Oh yeah, plus since it's an attack, Iron Wave will keep us together. Alright, we only ate 3 damage that turn. Not bad, not bad. Keeping it low. Yeah, he doesn't spend all that much time attacking, but once he gets around to it, man, does it hurt. Okay, Blood for Blood does 18. Definitely want to up my defense. Blood for Blood will get cheaper if I let them hit me. Alright, we'll take a little damage to make Blood for Blood cheaper and kind of focus on attacking. Because you can't afford to waste too much time, or these bosses start doing nasty, awful things. Like, that's bad. That is bad. Okay, we're going to have to uppercut him because it'll weaken him, I think. Let's see what Havoc can do for us. Nothing. Okay, have to uppercut him. Cuts down his damage by like 13. And we're dead. We're dead. I don't think there's anything we can do about this one. Yeah, like I said, you get it back. And then, sadly, it was a pretty good run, but... Hyper Beam! Not much you can do about that. Inadequately prepared. Alright, so let's see. What do we get here? nothing too exciting. You will notice that, yeah, level 1 elites, exordium 10 points, level 2 elites 20, chapter 3 elites more. Alright, I know I said we might get around to the silent this time, but I think I am done. It's been like hours, 3 hours. Alright guys, I'm going to end the stream here. Any last thoughts? I guess that's a spoiler alert, but it's a little too late. Yeah, so back to Slay the Spire. So yeah, the card library, definitely worth checking that view upgrade and taking a look, because if you don't know what the potential of a card is, it can be very hard to judge if you should pick it up or not. As you play, you unlock new and awesome cards. Whirlwind is damn good. Wismo asks, is Whirlwind that OP or is it just me? Whirlwind can be great. It's something you're going to want to upgrade for sure. And strength benefits a lot. And good night, friendly. And yeah, power to the triangles. I agree. Later, my friends.